Hey yo, morning everybody. Back again. Gonna do a little bit of lead generation to start off the Monday morning. Welcome. If this is your first time here. My name is Derek, covering everything wholesaling real estate on this channel, specifically virtual wholesaling real estate. Is That's what I'm doing. I live in California, sourcing opportunity out in Houston, Texas. So if you're in the Houston market, do me a favor, drop a comment, let me know so that we can network, link up, and maybe make something shake on some future opportunities. If it is your first time onto the channel, again, welcome. Hope you enjoy the content. And if you do enjoy the content, do me a favor, hit that like, subscribe, notification bell before you leave. I have a new goal of hitting 75 subscribers before the end of the year here. Got about 11 days left. Um, and to be honest, we might hit it. I had set a previous goal of 50 subscribers. We have surpassed that. I think I'm at 56 now. So if you do take anything away from this, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button. We'd love to have you on future live sessions. We're building a little bit of a community here with beginner wholesalers all the way to people who are closing deals, taking down big checks. So we'd love to have you. We'd love to have you jump in on a live session. Let us know where you're at in your journey and let us know how we can help. And if you do, again, take anything away, do me a favor and share it with somebody who you think may benefit from the information as well. That way we can grow a little bit quicker here. Today, I'm going to start it off by sending off some text. If you read the description, I had skip traced and imported a new list of driving for dollars leads or lists, prospects, however you want to say it. Generated a list of driving for dollar prospects, and I was able to skip trace them and import them last night, Sunday night, which I'm proud of because I had set that kind of as a goal for myself. I don't want to take time away from generating leads during the week, Monday to Friday. I really want to organize all of my data for the week by the end of Sunday night. So I was able to do that last night. I use batch skip tracing for my skip tracing services. Uh, Link in the description if you're interested in using batch skip tracing. In my opinion, they are the best. I've tried a few different skip tracing platforms, but nobody really delivers results like batch skip tracing. Um, and the link in the description is an affiliate link, so know that I will get a little bit kickback. I'm not sure how much. Nobody's ever done it up to this point. So go ahead. The link will allow you to sign up for free. Full disclosure, though, it's free to sign up regardless. But again, signing up with the link in my description here will give me a little kickback when you end up using batch skip tracing and skip trace some of your lists. I'm not cool enough to get you a promo code yet, but yeah, appreciate it. I think it's 20 cents per property, and it'll give you up to 10 phone numbers and 3 emails as well as the owner's name, last known mailing address, all that good stuff. So gonna hop in, and also I don't know what other links I have in the description, but I think my Instagram link is down there as well. I've been having a few people of my subscribers who hop in here regularly, communicate with me through Instagram. So when I'm not live, that is really the best way to get in contact with me, if not through email. But I have my phone. I don't really check my email regularly. I check it like in the morning and the afternoons, but I have my phone on me all day, and I'm definitely on social media. So if you're looking to get a hold of me, ask some questions, uh, you know, network or whatever you want to do, Instagram's gonna probably be the best way to get a hold of me. Toss this light on. So I'm gonna hop in today. Like I said, I'm just gonna kind of knock this out. It was a quick little list that I had of driving for dollars. If you're interested to know how I generate or build my virtual driving for dollars list, I have a little mini series on my channel called My Virtual Driving for Dollars Process. I believe it's what I titled it. Um, I have altered it a little bit since I uploaded that little playlist. I plan on kind of revising it and sharing how I do it nowadays. It's pretty much similar. I've just kind of streamlined it a little bit, so it's a little less manual labor involved, and kind of just get straight to it, as opposed to doing like a couple steps in between. But for the most part, I do the same thing. I use Google Maps and I cross reference Zillow to ensure that I have both the right address and to ensure that the property hasn't already been acquired, fixed up, and resold on the market. And I'm really looking at the image capture date on the bottom right of the screen when you're driving with Google Maps. It'll let you know when the picture was taken. So if it's like 3, 4, 5 years old, like the picture was taken in 2015, something like that, for the most part, I'll pull it up on Zillow just to make sure that I'm not, uh, you know, calling somebody who has already flipped the property. And then I build it in PropStream, cross-referencing a few other things in PropStream when I pull it up there, checking length of ownership. I'm not really wanting to ask somebody if they're interested in selling their property if they just bought it 6 months ago or really less than a few years. I try to market and tailor my marketing towards people who have owned the property for like 5 years or longer, stuff like that. And I do that because I am operating on a pretty limited marketing budget here. So I take the extra effort to do these things so that I'm not wasting money on skip tracing and wasting my time marketing to people who, in all likelihood, are not interested in selling their property. So, and you'll find that I do that in a lot of different areas of my marketing and just my process in general. I take a little bit extra steps, a little bit extra effort to ensure that I'm not wasting money and time. So, gonna hop in here. Like I said, it was a pretty small list. I think it was like 100 or like 200, but I limit texting obviously to mobile numbers only. But also, when you skip trace with batch skip tracing, like I said, they will give you results with up to 10 phone numbers, but they give it to you in order of, what's the best word to use there? Like, not relevance, but in all likelihood, the first phone number is going to be the best phone number, and then second phone number down the line. You're going to have a better chance to get a hold of the property owner with the first phone number, a little bit less of a chance with the second phone number, but still high. So I know a lot of the pros and the gurus in the industry, they only, market to some of the top players I've heard only market to the first two phone numbers. I'll do the top three, sometimes top four phone numbers because I have definitely gotten a hold of people with on the fourth phone number. It's just a matter of how much. Again, it's a little bit of a balance. Do you want to market to that fourth phone number? Well, you're going to be wasting a little bit more time, but if you can generate a lead out of that fourth phone number, then it may be worth it to you. So it's a little bit of a give and take, and that's kind of what you're going to have to figure out on your own. How much time and money you're wanting to spend on this stuff, and finding the balance that kind of fits your budget, your schedule, all that good stuff. So when I import my mobile numbers into my texting platform, I only I only import the people who have mobile numbers as the first phone number. Actually, last night I changed it. So people who have either the mobile number as the first phone number or the second phone number, and then all the other phone numbers I'm throwing into my dialer so that I can call the landlines or the mobile numbers that were the third or the fourth result. So I think that's all I wanted to say on that before I hopped in here. My marketing is automatically sent out through text starting at 10 a.m. So I see a number of texts just went out a little bit ago. No replies. It's like to give you a little bit of context, if this is the first time that you're tapping in here, it's on a drip campaign. So all I have to do is add them to the campaign. And then over the course of the first 20 days, they're going to get texted. Few ringless voicemails get dropped. And it's all on autopilot. So all I have to do is add them to the campaign, and then it's going to give them a text on day one, a ringless voicemail 30 minutes later, text on day two, a ringless voicemail an hour later, a text on day three, a text on day seven, a text on day 15. So it's all kind of just happening on autopilot. And again, a number of texts just went out, and this is like day. This may actually be day 20. Yeah, this is the last text in the campaign for all these people. So all of these people who don't respond to this text, or at least who have gotten this last text that says, hey, this address was at the top of my list, but it seems like now might not be the best time. Say my number if anything ever changes. If they get that text and they automatically get tagged, that's something else that the software is able to do, is like a bunch of triggers It's essentially a bunch of if then statements. So if they get this last text, then they get tagged as cold call. If they get tagged as cold call, then they get added to the pipeline stage labeled push to dialer. If they're in the pipeline stage push to dialer, then they get added to a smart contact list, which then prompts me to export them every so often. I wait till it gets to be like a couple hundred. So that's also what I did last night. Is I took like hundreds actually, because it's been a while since I did it. I think it might have even been like 1,000 properties that I've texted, but they either never responded to any of the texts in the campaign, and the campaign went all the way through, or it kicked it back as an error for some reason. Either it was a landline and I accidentally imported it into my texting software, or their phone is deactivated, or it's just unable to receive text. Any type of error that kicks back. Those are two reasons. Either they get kicked back with an error, or they go all the way through the campaign with no response, and then they get added to this list. And then every so often, I'll take all these people, throw them into my dialer, because now I'm going to try to cold call them. Uh, because either, again, it was a landline and they're never going to receive a text, or maybe they just don't ever reply to text. Texting is not the preferred method of marketing for these people. And that's what, I'm trying to get in the habit of doing. That's what the pros will do. They'll just put it on a conveyor belt from the first marketing channel being like the cheapest, which is, depending either cold calling or texting. And then, so for me, I text them first. And then if that happens, that I don't get a response, I'll push them to my dialer. Then I'll try calling the other numbers associated and attached to that property. And then, again, the pros, based on my understanding, if they don't get a hold of them through cold calling, then they'll start sending them, mailers through the mail. And if they don't get a hold of them, then they'll go on to a more expensive form of marketing, and so on and so forth. So I'm gonna stop wasting time here. I'm gonna hop over to my texting platform. I have, let me see it, how many I threw in here last night. Like I said, it's not too many. 108 records. This is my driving for dollars list. So I'm going to go ahead and take all of them and send them all out right now. Typically, I'm doing about 500 a week, 250 on Monday and 250 on Tuesday. And I limit it to Monday and Tuesday. You'll know this if you've tapped into any of my other videos, but in case you're new here, I'll limit it to Monday and Tuesday because, like I said, it's on a drip campaign, and anytime somebody gets added to the campaign, they're going to get marketed or texted on the first 3 days. So if I add 250 people to the campaign on Monday, they're going to get a text and a ringless voicemail on both Monday and Tuesday, and a text on Wednesday. And then for the people who I add on Tuesday, they're getting hit on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And then I just leave Friday kind of open for other marketing activities. So like I said, typically that's where I've been kind of consistent with that, but I'm running out of data here. So I'm going to turn to the dialer a lot more because I have a lot of people that I can call compared to how many people I can text. Because again, it's just a little bit more limited because I'm only able to text the mobile numbers, whereas I'm able to call the landlines as well. So selected 108, going to add them to the campaign. Going to add them, to my general 20-day campaign. I'm going to add them in drip mode, which will allow me to send off, I like sending 7. I think that's the sweet spot. 7 every 1 minute, which is what you want to do. You want to become as human-like as possible so that your phone numbers aren't flagged with the phone carriers, AT&T, Verizon, whatever carrier this number is attached to. They're picking up on the fact that people are sending off thousands of texts every day. So they try their best to screen and pick out the people who are coming across as spam, and the people who are sending off hundreds of texts at the same minute, at the same second. That's going to be the people who are raising red flags with the phone carriers. So adding it in drip mode as opposed to adding it all at once will allow you to kind of stagger and send off. Like I said, I'm sending off 7 texts every minute. I don't, to be quite honest, I mention this every time, but I don't even know why they have it as an option to add it all at once. I accidentally did it one time, and I'm pretty sure all my numbers got flagged as spam. I don't e, again, I don't know why. It would make sense if you're only sending off like 10 texts, then you can just add them all at once, send off 10 texts right now. But if you're going to be utilizing this software, I don't see why you would do it at such a small scale. But anyways, 108 contact import to general 20-day campaign. This is just the description of the action I'm doing for future reference if I ever want to go back and review what I was doing. Um, Sending them off. So it's 10:45 right now, my time. My system is in my market's time, which is 2 hours ahead. So I'm going to send these off at 12:50 p.m., which is 4 minutes from now. Right? Yeah. And then they give you this little option to create just a window of time in case you do your math wrong. So I'm sending off 7 every minute, 108 texts total, or 108 properties total text. So it should only take me a little longer than 15 minutes to send all these off. If I'm starting at 12:50, I'm going to make the window of time 12:30 p.m. because these windows are just in 30-minute increments of time. And then I'm going to 12:30 to 1:30 p.m. So even if my math is wrong, these texts are going to get cut off at 1:30 p.m. But if I do my math correctly, they will stop around 1:05. So I'm going to go ahead, add to campaign. So those are going to go off in 3 minutes. So we'll wait for that. If you're in here, don't forget to hit that like button. I appreciate all of you guys. For real. You guys are motivating. And if you're marketing today or this week, let me know. I'm curious to know if people are kind of pulling back a little bit on the marketing for this week, or if they're ramping up, because a lot of people, knowing that a lot of other people are scaling back. I'm scaling back a little bit, only because again I'm running out of data to text, but I'm definitely trying to hit the cold calls and the follow ups for sure this week, pretty hard. Um, if not to only wish all of my leads happy holidays, just to kind of tap in. I made a point to say that I think on Friday I mentioned that I actually think I want to just round back with a lot of my like warm leads, not so much my hot leads who I'm in conversation with, talking, numbers, but the warmer ones who are kind of still on the fence. I might just, in all honesty, round back with them, wish them a happy holidays, and not even mention the property, or maybe mention the property so that they know who I am. Hey, I'm Derek, the guy who's been calling trying to buy your property. Just wanted to round back, wish you guys a happy holidays. Wish you and your family a happy holidays, and hope that we can help you out with that property at the top of the new year. It's honestly my plan, because nobody that I can really think of on the top of my head is like desperate to sell and wants to sell so badly that they're gonna make something happen before the end of the year anyways. So just want to stay at the top of people's minds so that when the new year does turn around, they're like, all right, now that the holidays are over, I'm ready to sell my property. Let me give Derek a call, or let me text Derek real quick. All right, these are going off in 1 minute. Gear up a little bit. I was driving for dollars a little earlier. Again, if you're interested to know how I build out my driving for dollars list virtually, I do have a little mini series on my YouTube channel called my virtual driving for dollars process. But just very quickly, this is me tracking my route, so I don't drive the same streets, because I don't, a lot of the apps out there like Deal Machine or Batch Driven, they have route tracking. Um, I'm not sure if they have route tracking for virtual. That was the problem. I used Deal Machine for a little bit, but I still had the same problem. It wasn't tracking my route because I was doing it virtually. All it was offering me was a little extension, a Google Chrome extension, which was kind of communicating with the application itself, but it still wasn't tracking my route as it would if I was doing it in real life. if I was driving my car in real life, I'm pretty sure that I don't know how it communicates, maybe Google Maps or something, but um, you know, with location, uh, with you giving the application permission to track your location, it was able to track your routes, right? So that you don't drive the same street twice. But I don't have that luxury because I'm doing it virtually. So this is what I do: track my route, just, by hand, draw on the streets. Um, you know, so that's what that was. I was able to put up like 30, 35 properties this morning. Drove for like an hour. Grab my script just in case I'm getting ready to hop on the phone with anybody. If they text me back, like, yeah, call me right now. Kind of my transition for the morning. First, it's driving for dollars, and then once I start actually sending off marketing, I pull out my script and my notebook so I can take notes along the way and all that good stuff. Yeah, so this is the stuff that I took note of on Friday that I wanted to kind of do moving forward before the end of the year is double check the progression of my texting campaigns so that I can ensure that um, nobody's being texted on. I said obviously New Year's Eve and or Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve too. I got to make sure because Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve both fall on a Friday. I don't send off texts on the weekend, so that's okay. I'm confident that nobody's going to get texted on Christmas or New Year's Day, but I want to make sure that I turn off my marketing. I don't want to text people on Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve. So I said that. Um, I made a point to say, just kind of focus on follow ups this week. I want to text/call the hot leads, just wishing them a happy holidays and not mentioning the property, like I just mentioned. And then and then I have a note of JLep, one of my early subscribers, had kind of pointed out something that he'd like to see in terms of pre-recorded content. So if you guys have anything in mind as well on some stuff you'd like to see, obviously I go live, but my streaming software is unable to kind of keep up with or rather my computer is unable to keep up with my streaming software. So you're kind of just looking at my ugly mug here until I get that situated. But in the meantime, I try my best to narrate everything that I'm doing out loud on my computer. But I do have the ability to record my screen when I'm off the live session. So that's how I was able to do like my driving for dollars stuff and all my other pre-recorded videos. So I am able to do that. So if you guys have anything in mind that you'd like to see in terms of pre-recorded content that I will release to my channel, drop a comment. Let me know what it is that you're interested in seeing. So I already got a few people texting me back here. So, like I said, in certain points of my process, I do kind of spend a little bit extra effort and time on certain things. So, to kind of give you an example, I do go through my individual texts right now because for the ones that do kick back as error, like this one, I just like to tag it cold call right away so that the marketing stops and they get added to that list that I referred to earlier. Unfortunately, I think this is something that they need to change ASAP is when it kicks back as an error, it continues to send off text because there's different types of errors. So I understand. Um, some errors are, hey, this is a landline. Some errors are the phone is off. So I can see how some people would want to continue marketing to these people and continue sending them texts and ringless voicemails and stuff. But for me, it's just not really worth it. If it's going to kick back error for any reason, I just want to cut off the marketing altogether. So I just go through individually, see if they're kicking back as an error. And if they do, again, I just tag it as cold call so they get added to that list so that I can then push it to my dialer at a future date. So I've gotten one wrong number, one, this is not who you're looking for. Please take me off your list. And here's another error. And I have those triggers again set up in the background. And I'm constantly trying to figure out, new triggers to do so that I can just automate the whole process. So those ones that I just told you, somebody texted me wrong number, that phrase is pre-programmed in the background so that it's going to automatically tag them as wrong number. It's going to mark the conversation as read so that I don't even have to deal with it. It's going to stop the marketing, all that good stuff. So it was like, hands off. Same with take me off your list. It's going to automatically tag them as DNC. It's going to remove them from the campaign, all that good stuff. So this person said already sold. So another kind of way here to refine the process and make it more streamlined is templates. So I have a template for when somebody says already sold, and that looks like, oh, okay, would you happen to have any other property you'd be interested in selling at the moment? So I'll send that off, and I will tag this person already sold. Maria says not interested in selling. Tag her not interested. And what I like to do is take these people, go and find them in my dialer, because again, the mobile number is here, but I have the other numbers attached to this property, or affiliated with this property in my dialer. So I just like to remove them from my dialer campaigns as well, because it's clear that I got a hold of the person through text. So I don't want to waste time in the future calling that property on the other numbers because I've already gotten the answer. Same with this, like already sold, right? Come in here, mark them not ready in call tools. If you use call tools as your dialer, you know what I'm referring to. It's just a little toggle that says ready or not ready. If it's ready, it will, remain in your dialer campaigns and you'll call them. But if you mark them not ready, they will, they will, it'll be removed from your campaign. So you don't call them. So that's kind of what I do. Felix says, what's your offer? I have a template for that. Pull up my template. My template is, what can you tell me about it? How old is the roof? Any major or minor repairs needed? Just like a quick little vet, because anybody can just like ask what your offer, but that doesn't mean that they're serious about selling. Not to say that I won't make them an offer, but just, want to get at least one pre-qualifying question in there. And if they're, excuse me, willing to give me the time of day and answer one of my questions, then I'll be willing to have a conversation with them. But uh, for now, what's your offer doesn't really mean much to me. So that person, I said, okay, would you happen to have any other property you'd be interested in selling at the moment? Yes, but I have a buyer. I'm going to say, understood. I think uh, I'd love to provide you with an offer um, myself. If I'd love to provide you with an offer as well. If you were looking to have any backup offers. And then I like to kind of finish these texts with a question so that I turn it back on them. It gives them a reason to respond to me, because like he can just read that and be like, I'm not going to text that person back. But if I ask them a question, it kind of prompts them to respond a little bit differently. So understood. I'd love to provide you with an offer as well if you're looking to have any backup offers. Um, um, and understood. I'd love to provide you with an offer as well if you're looking to have any backup offers. Uh, do you have any interest in that? and just going through individually, seeing if there's any error kickbacks, which there are. So I'm glad that I do this. It's very cheap to send off these texts, but it adds up when you're sending them out at scale. Not for sale. I used to have a trigger in the background for when somebody says, um, you know, not for sale or not interested. But I found that I had one person say like not interested at this time, maybe in the future or something like that, and then it automatically marked the conversation as read, and I would have missed it had I not been going through these individually. So I took that trigger off because I don't want to pass up on that opportunity. Person says nope. Uh, Charles. He said, "Not at this time, thanks." That was the person who I asked if he'd like any backup offers. But I am going to tag him as follow up, and I'm going to set myself a follow up just to check in to see if his buyer did in fact, um, you know, perform and close on that property. I'll follow up in like a month. Did other buyer close? Yeah. Error. This person said, "What city?" Sounds like they have a number of properties. Um, let's see what city. May seem a little obvious, but not necessarily. I market to the Houston metro area, not just the city of Houston. So, um, a lot of buyers that I speak to, they will buy, up to 60 miles out of the inner city of Houston. So this person said stop. System picked up on it, marked them DNC, do not call for those who don't know, remove them from the campaign, mark the conversation as read, so I don't have to handle it. Diane says absolutely not in all caps. Say not interested. Move her from my dialer. My math was correct. Should be nearing the end of the new text that it sent off. Not my house homes. Wrong number. I have a template for that as well that asks him if he has any property. If I remember, I'll go back and do that in 1 second, but it's rolling right now. Not with the replies, but with the text going out. Yeah, not at this time, this person said. All right. And then, yeah, the ringless voicemail gets sent out 3 minutes after the text if I don't get an immediate text. I might push that out like to 5 minutes. Um, I want to give them. That's why I did 3 minutes, is because I wanted to give them a good enough time for them to text back. Typically, people have their phone on them, and if they're going to text back, they're going to text back right away. But they could have literally just been in the other room, and I just want to make sure that I'm not wasting money again sending ringless voicemails just because I didn't give them a big enough window. I'm going to go do that right now. I'm just going to push it out to 5 minutes as opposed to 3. Want to give them a chance to at least reply. Send after 5 minutes. Easy peasy. Japanesey. James Winston. That's a Jameis for a quick second. All right. All right. I think that should be it. If it is, I'm going to. What do you think? What should I do? Should I switch over to the follow-ups? I've been falling back on my follow-ups a little bit. Or should I hop on the dialer and cold call? Comment and let me know. Where you guys at right now? Got a few people in here, but I'm talking to myself. Feeling pretty lonely. All right. Give it 1 more minute. Make sure that no more are getting sent out. Good. All right. Hmm, not interested, says Raul. All good. Thanks for replying, Raul. Take him out of my dialer. And then I like to kind of just come over here to my recents. Um, Make sure that I have removed everybody from my dialer. Um, I just I'm just saving myself from embarrassment, honestly. If you've hopped into some of my other live streams, you'll know why. I just don't want to market to people who have already told me no, and especially people who have told me like yeah, or we're furthering the conversation, because that did happen one time. I called somebody and he was like, "Yeah, we were talking about this property already," and I was like, "Oh yeah." Um, that's what prompted me to do this. That's what prompted me to implement this into my system, was that guy. And I was like, oh, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I definitely shouldn't be calling these people if they've already replied to me. I mean, people do it. My coach actually recommends to do it. I think it's easier to do it once you have a team built out and it's not you personally making all the text, your voice on the ringless voicemail, your voice on the dialer when you're cold calling these people. So when you have a team built out, it's a little bit easier because you can have different cold callers calling versus, it just appears like different companies or different people or whatever the case is. But when it's me, I've been using somebody else's name. If somebody asks me what my name is through text, that way, if I do accidentally call them, I tell them my real name. Then it's like not as, although it's going to be the same voice. You get the point. Uh, just a decision that I've made. So I'm gonna hop over here to my dashboard on my texting platform to see what type of people I can follow up with. If you have tapped in before, you'll know that I do not operate off of a central CRM. Rather, if I have generated a lead through my texting platform, I will follow up with them through my texting platform. And then if I generated a lead through cold calling on my dialer, that's where I'm putting the follow ups. So I'm following up with them off my dialer. So, and that again speaks to why I have to kind of cross reference the two to make sure that there's no overlap. So I'm gonna hop in here and just start going through my follow ups for my texting platform. So this person, Mr. Potts, at one point he said that he would sell it for 125,000, and I asked again, what can you tell me about the current condition of the place? And he never replied. So I'm going to shoot him a quick text right now just to say, um, "Hey, Mr. Potts, wanted to round back and see if there was still any interest in selling your place on Preston Drive. If so, I'd love to connect and learn a bit about the property when you are available." Boom. I will set this 2 weeks out and follow up on the 3rd of January, when it seems that I'm following up with everybody. I already know that day is stacked up like crazy with follow ups. It's that first Monday of the year. Right, there's that. Next, Miss Cheryl said, "I want $175,000 firm." This was back a couple weeks ago. as is. If you'll pay this, you can come see it this week. If not, your price range, that's okay. And I said, great. How soon were you looking to sell? We're actually looking to pick up one more property before the holiday. She said, first week of January. Do you want to come see it this week? I said, we're actually comfortable making offers sight unseen. We just need to learn a little bit about it. Did you have a moment for me to give you a quick call? And she said, AC 2 to 3 years old, new fence, floors are wood laminate, no major remodels. I said, okay, now were you looking to start the process in early January or were you looking to close and get paid then? Just needed to be next year, so anytime in January. I said, okay, gotcha. Is there any wiggle room in your asking price? We'd definitely be interested. So I want to run this property by my underwriter to get authority to make you an offer. But looking at the market activity and assuming that the property could use a fair amount of work to bring it up to 2022 standards, I don't think I'll be able to get approval at 175K. Um, just so that I didn't waste her time because I ran the numbers and I would have to be at 175K less repairs. And I said in my notes that it sounds like a 40K repair job just based on the square footage of the place. Let me push it to Zillow to see how big it is. I'd imagine that it's probably less than 1,500 square feet if that's what I assumed. So it's just over about 1,700 square feet, but she had a new AC. Um, every time I come back in here and Gym Shorts, deal closed, about to implement text messages now. Let's go. Gym Shorts, let me know. Comment how much you got paid, what the details of the deal were like. I want to know. Let me know how you generated the lead, how you found your buyer and the spread on it. Congratulations, Gym Shorts Joe. Gym Shorts Joe is an avid supporter of the channel. Make sure everybody who taps in drops a comment and congratulates him. That's awesome. Gearing up for the next year. Perfect time to get paid on something. Make sure that you slow play it, Gym Shorts Joe. Just don't go blow the bag on texting. You know, I don't know how many deals you've closed or what. I honestly feel like I jumped into texting a little bit too quickly. It's easy to just implement a new form of marketing and spend a bunch of money on it and waste a bunch of money at the same time. So slow play it, do the texting if that's what you feel is right, but don't just go sending off thousands of texts all at once. Would be my recommendation. To each his own, but that's what I would say because I think it's easy to get a shiny object syndrome and get overexcited and just blow the bag without having the proper systems and processes in place. And what I was going to say is I go to revisit these text message conversations and I'm starting to realize that I interpreted the text conversations a little bit incorrectly. So in this case, I guess 40,000 is still like middle of the road average repair job. So I think, yeah, I would just need to be around like 130, 135 for this one. She wants 175 firm. So it's no big deal. I'm actually going to add this person to a drip. So I do have follow-up campaigns depending on how the conversation went. So if somebody said that they were interested, but I didn't give them an offer, I can add them to a specific campaign. Somebody, I made an offer, they just didn't accept it, I can add them to another campaign. If they said that they were interested, just not right now, I can add them to another campaign, and each of those campaigns are like the same thing. They're a drip campaign. Some of them last, months, depending on the situation. Some of them last, a couple weeks or whatever the case is. It's just a way for me to not necessarily continue setting myself follow-up tasks and revisiting each and every one of these things individually, especially when, you're doing this at scale. You can just say, okay, this is a person who wants to sell. They just have a high asking price. So let me throw them into this campaign and then allow the system to text automatically and follow up with them automatically. So for this person, I think that's what I will do. I will set myself a follow-up task just to like tap in. I'll say any response to follow-up campaign. Need to learn about condition, see if there's any wiggle room, yada yada. So I'll set this like 3 months out, 2 months out maybe. She said she wanted to sell January, so I'll set it like the end of January actually. And then I'm going to set myself in. No, yeah, that's good. I'm not too familiar though with my follow-up campaigns because I don't really do this frequently. So I'm going to come back in and make sure that I tag her appropriately depending on her situation. because that's all I'm gonna have to do. I'm just gonna have to tag her with something specific, and then she'll get added to the appropriate campaign. So for her, she is um, interested in selling, no offer made. I told her I wasn't gonna be able to do 175, but I didn't really give her an offer. So that looks like, hi, first name. Thanks for speaking with me about address. Um, Now, see this. I need to come in and edit these too. Um, so I don't think this is appropriate. I want to maybe do offer made, not accepted. Let's see what that looks like. Hey, just following up on the offer that I made. Nah. Let's cold leaf. Let's see what interested but not right now, which is the warm lead flow. That one says, first name, thanks for talking with me about address. If you have questions, I'm here to help. We'd love to work with you soon to purchase address for cash. We can close. Yeah, this one's appropriate. So I need to tag her as warm. Come back over to the dashboard. Find her again. Oh, I already. So I'm just going to have to search in contacts. Cheryl. There she is. Tag her as warm. And she's going to get added to that new campaign so that she gets touched over the course of, however long. Got another response saying, nope, Merry Christmas. Not interested. Remove them from my dialer. Come back over to my dashboard. Gym shorts. Make 20K. Split it with a partner. That's what I'm talking about. So 10K. Did you generate the lead or did your partner? And what kind of lead was it? If your partner generated it and you don't know, it's fine. But I'm just curious. Was it like an absentee owner? Was it a owner occupied? Was it a driver for dollars? Was it foreclosure? All right, this person I've been following up with every so often. He said, yeah, I have it under contract to sell now. And I said, oh, okay, did you have a closing date scheduled? And he said, really not any of your business. I've texted him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times since then. He hasn't replied. So right now I might hit him with one last text saying, hey, just wanted to send you one last text to see if if your buyer was in fact able to close on your Arendelle property. If not, I'd love to connect with you and see. Love to connect. If not, and you're still interested in selling, love to connect. Leave that. I'm gonna tag them as already sold. And I'm going to delete this follow-up. Some people may see that and be like, oh, you got to keep following up with the guy. But again, working on a limited marketing budget, I'm pretty picky about those who I follow up with and who I'm spending my money on. So for that guy, he's already told me that he was under contract. He was kind of rude about it. I followed up with him 6, 7 times now with no response. So for me, that's just not somebody who I'm wanting to waste my time with. On to the next, Also, this lead was from Driving for Dollars. Nice. Congrats again. I want a deal check. Let's get after it, REI. Let's get after it. Ramiro. Seller takes back of not placing a follow-up campaign. So this guy says, yes, I want to sell. I think this guy was messing with me. I said, great. Did you have an idea of how soon you'd want to sell? And he said, today. And I said, did you have a moment to speak? And I called him twice.
Please leave your message for 83248.
So didn't get a hold of him. I said, and I followed up, hey, man, let me know when the best time to give you a call is. I'd love to learn about your property. Didn't reply. Sent him another.
Please leave your message.
Called him again. Didn't answer. So I'm just going to add this guy to that same warm. You know, I'm pretty sure he's messing with me, but I mean, I'm not going to jump to that assumption if he literally told me that he wanted to sell. But I'm fairly certain that he's messing with me. That's something else that you really got to pay attention to on text. People are just going to play with you. You really got to vet these people. Get them on the phone. You know, I've heard horror stories about people actually setting appointments with people and then showing up to the property and the actual property owner being like, why the hell are you here? I've never talked to you before in my life. So it's happened a few times with me, not the appointment, not to that extent, but a few times now I've identified that people are messing with me. Even one guy was playing with me, and then when I called him, he actually answered. And I was like, hey, we were going back and forth about your property. And he was like, oh, yeah, that's not my property. It's like, okay. So be careful with that. This guy, Robert, talked to him about a month ago, maybe a little bit longer. I said, hey, free to talk. This is his wife, and we have plans to sell it to a relative now. Sorry, thank you. So I'm going to say, hey, Mrs. Vane, just wanted to round back and see if your relative still had plans on buying your place on Sunset Drive. If so, completely understand. But if not, I'd love to connect and see if we might be able to help you out. Kick this down the road about a month. Again, just rounding back to see if the relative did, in fact, buy that place. In all likelihood, I would imagine that they're not going to. And that was just her kind of nice way of telling me, no, I'm not interested in selling. Or they will, you know. But more often than not, if they say the tenant plans on buying it, or I have a relative that's going to buy it, you know, that tenant and that relative may have every intention on buying it, but just is unable to do it, whether it be money, credit, circumstances. So I actually follow up with those people more often than the people who actually tell me, yeah, I'm interested, just not right now, you know, later down the road or whatever. This is somebody, so I have in my coaching program, I have like a partnership program where you can kind of refer them leads and they will end up calling them and closing the deal. And, you know, if they get it locked up, they'll help dispo it and all that good stuff. So this is one where if you guys tapped in before, this is the gentleman with the 6 properties that is thinking about offloading all of them. He's a kind of a player in the game. He has 6 single family rentals, and he also has some multifamily and some commercial property as well. So I reached out to him about one of his single families, and he said, well, if I sell that one, I'd want to sell all 6 of them. We hopped on the phone, had a good conversation. Cash offer didn't make much sense to him because he owns all the properties free and clear. They're all in pretty good condition, and he's not really in any rush to sell. Nor does he care if it's a cash offer. He was telling me, he's like, I could care less if you get it financed. Like, you can get a loan. It doesn't really matter to me. So he actually proposed seller finance, and he was like, I mean, I may be willing to seller finance it. I said, all right, well, why don't we do this? You know, let's take a little bit of time. You figure out what your bottom dollar is for a cash offer for all 6 properties. and figure out what it is that you might be expecting in terms of terms for a seller finance play. I rounded back with my coach. He actually is expanding into the Houston market, so he said that he may be interested in buying these properties. So he would be my buyer on this one, possibly. But this is one where I just don't have the proper processes, documentation in place to actually move forward on a seller finance play. It's something that I still have to educate myself on and get the proper, paperwork set up and all that good stuff, so that I can actually close a deal that way. And I just wouldn't want to play around with this guy again. He's a player in the game, knows what he's doing. I just don't want to come across as somebody who's inexperienced and is gonna, screw around with him. So this is somebody I'm gonna text him right now, um, and I'm gonna say I'm gonna text him a novel, but I'm gonna say, "Hey Jimmy, uh, wanted to round back to see if you've given any thought um, to the numbers. Hey Jimmy, wanted to round back to see if you've given any more thought to um, to selling your single family portfolio. I know last time we talked, you weren't necessarily uh, interested in a cash offer. You mentioned you may be open to uh, seller financing. Uh, if you were if you were to sell all of them for cash, what do you think your bottom dollar would be for all of them? Also, if seller also or if seller financing was what or if seller financing was the route you'd want to take. uh, did you have any expectations um, regarding the terms, in parentheses, down payment, uh, terms? And I'm going to say, I spoke with uh, my long term, spoke with a partner of mine that uh, would actually be interested. I'm going to say, I don't know if you recall, but I personally only have enough cash on hand to to uh, don't know if you recall, but I personally only have enough cash on hand to um, take down 1 to 2 of these properties. So I spoke with a partner of mine that would actually be interested in coming in on the deal with me. Um, if it's still something you're interested in, I'd uh, love to put you guys in contact to continue the conversation. Let me know your thoughts. Holidays. I was supposed to hear back from him early last week, and I didn't. And I was supposed to follow up with him like a couple days after, but I didn't. So just following up with him now. Hey Jimmy, wanted to run back to see if you've given any more thought to selling your single family portfolio. I know last time we talked, you weren't necessarily interested in a cash offer, but you mentioned you may be open to seller financing. If you were to sell all of them for cash, what do you think your bottom dollar would be for all of them? Or if seller financing was the route you'd want to take, did you have any expectations regarding the terms? Don't know if you recall, but I personally only have enough cash on hand to take down 1 to 2 of these properties. So I spoke with a partner of mine that would actually be interested in coming in on the deal with me. If it's still something you're interested in, I'd love to put you guys in contact to continue the conversation. Let me know your thoughts. Happy holidays. Yeah, fire. Um, so I'm going to say any word from seller. I'm going to set this out a week. If I haven't heard back from them, this time next week, I am going to refer it to uh, my partnership program regardless. All right. This guy, same thing in terms of, oh no. I reached out. I said, "Are you free to talk?" He said, "Sure, give me a call." We talked. Um, oh, this guy actually, yeah, we were talking good numbers. He wanted 250. I think my max, there's a lot of new construction in the area. In fact, some new construction is going over a million. So um, I think that somebody would even pay upwards of like 300. Some comps are going from 1.1 to 1.2 million. So I think some builders may even pay upwards of 300,000 for the lot itself. ARV for the property is like 385 to 400. So I still think it's a deal in terms of max allowable. What did I say? I guess I didn't say, but I saw some comps here, which were houses that sold with the intention of knocking it down. So they were selling for lot value, and I know that because that's what was in the MLS, like the listing description. It would say, selling for lot value, although there was a house on it. So some sold for lot value. One sold for lot value at 405,000. It was a 2,000 square foot bigger lot, but I saw another one that sold for 342, which was a vacant lot, no house on it, that was 1,000 square feet smaller. So then you just got to factor in the cost of demolition to get the lot build ready. So as long as it doesn't take any more than $50,000 to tear this down, I'd be looking at like a $40,000 assignment. Here's another one sold as is for 410,000. So there's a good spread on this here. Um, he told me, so I gave him, so we talked on the phone, good conversation. Here's my notes on it. Owned the property for 20 years, tenant occupied. Tenant's been there for 5 years. Good tenant, month to month, $1,200 per month rent. 20-year-old roof. He thinks it should be replaced. Kitchen updated 10 years ago. Bathrooms have not been updated. AC units 4 years old. We came to an agreement that essentially the renovation would be upwards of $50,000. He mentioned that he received an offer for 254 at one point in time, but he didn't accept it. So he mentioned that he would need at least 250. Seller would want to give his tenant a 60-day notice. And I was like, all right, let me run the numbers and get back to you. And then I gave him 1, 2, 3 calls, all of them missed. And then I followed up with him a few weeks later, said, "Hey there, just wanted to round back to see if you still had interest in selling your place on Maybank Drive. My partner was able to drive by and check the place out. We'd love to make you an offer. Give me a call on my direct line when you get the chance." He said, "I will get back to you by next week. Thanks." I said, "Sounds good," but it's been about a month and I still haven't heard back from him. So I'm going to round back via text right now and say, uh, "Hey, Steven, haven't heard back from you. I'm gonna kind of pull back a little bit. Hey, Steven, I hadn't heard back from you. So I'm under the assumption that you're not wanting to move forward with selling your place on Maybe Drive. Um, I hadn't heard back from you, so I'm under the assumption that you're not wanting to move forward with selling your place on Maybe Drive. I'll say, I'm going to say, we're still interested and feel confident that we'd be able to get you that uh, 250K. So if anything ever changes and you're wanting to move forward, uh, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm going to reword that a little bit because I said move forward twice. Hey, Steven, hadn't heard back from you. Hadn't heard back from you, so I'm under the assumption that you're no no longer wanting to sell your place on Maybank Drive. We're still interested and feel confident that we'd be able to get you that 250K. So if anything ever changes and you're wanting to move forward, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm going to follow up with him in a month, a little bit longer than a month. I'm going to follow up at the end of January. I actually foresee that he texts me back today. Same thing happened. I kind of pulled back last time, and he was like, "Look, I'll let you know in a week." You know, he was supposed to let me know either way. I should have followed up with him much sooner than I did, but he's a good guy, and I feel like he's gonna reply to me. All right, Angel here. I had made her an offer. It looks like she said the offers that I have are over 100K. She said, "I don't think this one's for you." I said, "Hey, yeah, we're not the best match for everybody. If it ends up being less repairs than I'm anticipating, I might be able to come up a bit." I said, "But please feel free to save my number." And she says, "All right, yeah." And then I followed up, "Hey, just following up." So I had added her into one of these follow up campaigns that I was mentioning earlier. Called her 3 times, all missed calls. Um, 4 more. I had talked to her though at one point. I called her off a different number. Yeah, okay, here we go. I connected with her 2 weeks ago, 14 days ago. Connected with seller. She mentions that she plans to move forward with an offer in the range of 125 to 130. I asked if it was appropriate to follow up to be sure that she was being taken care of and that somebody wasn't just, yanking her chain and, you know, playing with her and then gonna try to renegotiate at the last minute. She had no problem, but mentioned that her other offers were higher than my $100,000 offer. So I have ARV at 180. Based on what she was telling me, it looks like my MAO was going to be anywhere between 70 to 100, 100 for light repairs. I may be able to go 110 because I've been carving out $20,000 for an assignment, which is again why I'm not going to be able to compete with a lot of actual flippers. If a real flipper is ever doing their own marketing and I'm competing with that flipper on the same lead, they're going to be able to offer $10,000 to $20,000 more than me because they don't have to carve out for an assignment fee, right? I'm carving out for the buyer's profit and my assignment fee. Whereas if the buyer was going direct to seller, they would just have to carve out their own profit and not an extra $10,000 to $20,000 in an assignment fee. So it kind of gives me the vibes that that's what's happening on this one. But still wanted to round back just real quick and say Uh, Angel, just wanted to round back and uh, round back with you. I know you mentioned that you plan on moving forward with um, an offer in that 125 to 130K range, um, but just wanted to check. So I just want, hey Angel, just wanted to round back with you. I know you mentioned that you planned on moving forward with an offer in that 125 to 130K range for your place on. Just in case you like deleted the last conversation, I want to reference the address. Can't Angel, just wanted to round back with you. I know you mentioned that you plan on moving forward with an offer in that 125 130K range for your place on Cantor Way. So I just wanted to check in uh, and see you um, if you accepted that. Um, I'd love to be here for you in case anything falls through for whatever reason. I'd love to be here for you in case anything. I'd love to be here for you as a backup in case anything falls through for whatever reason. Hope you have a happy holidays. Probably won't text back to that, but it's all good. Follow up there in 2 weeks. That first Monday again. The last time I talked to her, she was like, "I'm probably gonna accept that offer, but I haven't signed it yet." And I was like, "Okay, well, I'd love to be a backup for you, just in case something happens and that buyer is unable to perform and it falls through for whatever reason." And she was like, "Yeah, that's fine, but just so you know, I have other offers that are over your offer that will likely be my backup offers." So I was like, "Okay," but you never know. People, it's a cold world out there nowadays, and people are shady. I've run into it a few different times already now, where somebody's like, "Yeah, I got an offer for 150," and I was like, "Okay, do you mind if I just kind of like stay in contact with you and just want to make sure that they're taking care of you and they're not trying any funny business?" And then they try some funny business and renegotiate the price at the last minute. So Michael says, I get a lot of these initial talks. I just don't think the numbers are there to even begin considering to sell. I'm in the current process of renovation to rent it out again." And I said, "I can understand that. If you were to let it go in its current state, how much would you be hoping to walk away with?" And then he never replied. So I'm gonna text back. I'm gonna say, "Hey Michael, just wanted to round back with you about your place on Pheasant Creek Drive. I know you mentioned that you were in the process of renovating and re-renting, but wanted to pick your brain and see if selling it as is was something that you may be open to. Did you have a number in mind that you'd be hoping to um, get for the property before you move forward on doing all of the renovations?" Said that. Follow up in follow up in a month. I mean, he's not very. He already told me he plans on doing the renovations. Next, this person was like, call my realtor. I don't think I'm gonna follow up with this person. Well, he said 230K. Please call my realtor. What was? Let's see if I ran the numbers on it. I would need to be at 208 less repairs. So max, I'd be able to be at like 190. So that's max if it's just a cosmetic rehab. And it looks like it may be, it may just be a cosmetic rehab, but the fact that he deferred to his realtor kind of turns me off, to be quite honest. I might actually just text the realtor right now because it's not listed. It's not listed. It's clear to me that he defers to his realtor for all. I'm just gonna. This guy doesn't need my help. The place is brand new. You can see it on Zillow. I'm not gonna waste my time with it. Because I would call the realtor and she'd be like, "What? What are you talking about?" And I said, "Well, he gave me your number and told me to call you." And she'd be like, "Oh, okay. Well, I don't know." And then I would have to like educate her on the conversation that I had, and then she's gonna want to do things on the up and up, and it's just gonna be more hoops to jump through than I'd be willing to do. It sounds kind of like snobby of me, but I'm going after the low hanging fruit. Ronaldo said, "How much you offering?" And then I asked, "What can you tell me about it?" Never replied, so I threw him into the campaign that he's still in. So my task is just to check in to see if he has replied to this campaign, which he hasn't. So I'm just gonna kick this down the road as well. Um, about another month. I think this campaign lasts a good chunk of time. So just wanted to tap in to see that did not slip through the cracks, which doesn't look like it did. Maria, damn, I got a heck of people. Gosh. Oh, Maria said call me tomorrow, and I failed to call her. I'm gonna call her right now. What do you guys think? Looks like she may be Spanish speaking because she didn't really spell those words correctly when she said call me tomorrow. Um, she spelled me, M-I, and call, C-O-L-L. And her name is Maria Chavez. I would just assume that she's Spanish speaking, but still gonna call her. I'm gonna pull this up on Zillow. Give me an idea of what it's looking like as the Zestimate. Zestimate is 168-ish. I would probably need to be around 85. So I may throw out a number if she asks. And if it seems like it may actually be a lead, depending on her circumstances and situation, and is Spanish speaking, I'm going to kick it over to Jared and his girl, who have been following up with some of my Spanish speaking leads. I'm going to use the restroom 1 second. I'm going to come back and call her. All right. I'm also gonna close this window a little bit. It's freezing. Okay.
Please leave your message for Maria Chavez.
Well, that's her. I'm gonna let it breathe for a minute, and then I'm gonna call her back. Hit her with the double tap. I'm gonna run some comps in the meantime. This is an absentee-owned property. She actually lives in Arizona, so this is maybe something that she's wanting to offload here. Just one rental that she has that I see at least that's popping up in prop stream. Let me run some quick comps while I let that missed call breathe. When I say let it breathe, I just mean like give it a few minutes because maybe I'm just catching her like when she's in the other room and she's gonna call me right back. I just don't want to like I want to give her two calls to let her know, hey, this is an important phone call. You should pick this up. But I also don't want to just like call her literally 2 seconds afterwards because if she's actually in the middle of something, then that's just really annoying. You know, in my eyes at least. 1,300 square feet, 3 bedroom, 1.5 bath. I'm gonna make the minimum. I kind of like where the minimums are at right now. 1075, maximum 1613. I kind of like that. I don't know what it is. I think it's 20%. Yeah, it goes 20% less and more. Prop streams default for min and max square feet. Um, so that gives me 8 properties. There's a lot of activity right in this little area, which is nice. That sold within the last year. So let's see. All of these are in the same subdivision. That's really nice. 2, 5, 6, and 7. Um, yeah, that's really nice. So for now, I'm going to look at 1 through 5. 3 of those sold. 2 of them actually just were rented. So this one sold most recently about a month ago in November for 175. It has an extra bed and an extra bath. I think ours sells for maybe 150. Ours has an extra 100 plus square feet. Call ours 160. Ours has an extra 500 square feet on the lot. Same year built. Nothing crazy. So what is that? What did I say? 160. I'll call it 160 ARV. Based on that comp. Based on this comp that sold at the end of September, sold for 185. Again, extra bed and extra bath. Call ours 160. I've just been taking a little bit more of the more education that I do, the more self education, the more that these pros and the gurus in the industry really take a pretty large discount for beds and baths. I've always taken 10,000, but I'm starting to take a little bit more. Um, I just don't, I don't know if that's correct or accurate, but it may be something that I revisit when I'm in the actual negotiations with these people. But just running the numbers on its face conservatively to start with, I think I'm going to take a little bit more of a discount. So 185 again, that this one's sold for with an extra bed and an extra bath. So I'm going to take mine at 160. This has 200 extra square feet. So call ours 140 and a much bigger lot. Um, so that's just not going in our favor, to be quite honest. I don't like that. Let's look at this other one. 165 it sold with an extra bed and half bath. So call ours 150 after I just said that I'm taking more of a discount, but 150. Ours has 100 extra square feet, call it 160. Same exact lot size. And this one's newer. So what did I say? 160. 1015, 150, 160. Yeah. So I think ARV is 160 on this. I think that's accurate. Maybe a little higher. Call it 160. Let's see what estimate value on prop stream is 167. Zestimate is 167 as well. I don't know. Maybe you want to call it 170 because that one, yeah, that one sold back in April. I'm just gonna call it 160 to play it conservatively, which would my formula that I use is times 0.92 to account for buyer commissions, closing costs, everything on the back end, um, less a $20,000 minimum or I like to do 25,000 minimum profit, uh, less my $20,000 assignment, less repairs. So I'd be looking at like 102 less repairs on a 1900 square foot property. So I'm going to be looking at anywhere between like, gosh, it depends on how much repairs are needed. If it's really bad, I'd be at like 30, anywhere between like 30 to 85, something like that. So I'll give her one more call right now, see if she answers.
Hello?
Hi, Maria.
Yes?
Maria, how's it going? This is Derek. Not sure if you recall, I had texted you a few days ago about your property over on Brookview Street.
Oh, but the Brookview Street is not for sale. The one is I'm gonna have for sale, or if they gonna buy it with the tenants, is the 827 Deer Crest.
Deercrest?
Uh-huh.
Okay, and you said that there's tenants there?
Yeah, it's tenants there, and they're gonna move out in Febrero because I evicted them because they have 2 months, and then they end up not paying November and December, and they just give him 2 months to pay, but not to pay. He told me like I rule, I've been ruled, but it's not.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
too much.
Yeah. I hear you.
So they just give them to the February. So December they will the court. So they give Febrero. I guess it's the beginning of the Febrero. The house will be. They gonna go back because this guy asked me to cancel the second to go to the court. My English is a little poor. So the second time
pretty hard to understand.
to got the eviction and he's gonna pay. I didn't answer because since I started, I want the day leave.
Right. Okay. Okay.
The property is not in danger too. I have time, so I don't want somebody come with a price like I have emergency. No, I called the bank and they put me in forbearance.
Right.
Until February 28, they told me if I need more time to sell it, they're gonna give me another 3 months.
Okay.
So I'm very calm. So forever I want 130. So it's what the house has 2 leakings and the 2 bathrooms, but I never been fixed because this man never let in nobody.
Right.
They put the construction, and he told me that he will fix everything when he moved in 2017, and every time he gonna pay late, he he was complaining about the leaking. So I talked to somebody, real estate girl, they always call me too, concerning to buy the property.
Yeah.
And we make a deal. Send somebody like I'm going to leak the leaking.
Yeah.
And that way you can see the house inside. And then when this guy is a normal person. So when he get there, all the workers were there inside. Because they work in construction. And they
Okay.
had gun, knife, and they took to see him. I don't know how. Then this guy get out. I don't know what kind of excuse that he got. Get out and leave. Because
Right.
he feels he's in danger because he's not used to. Not everybody is used to be with people with ink in the body and guns
Right.
and knives.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So then, he didn't have the picture because I don't know what is in English. He feel he was in danger. It's better my work that I use, but it's two lickens and the two bathroom.
Okay.
And I don't know if the house have hose or everything. I don't think so because I don't think he because I have all his information. I don't think he's gonna go far and destroy the house.
Yeah, that makes sense. Here, this is what I'd like to do, Maria. If this is something, just to confirm, you said that you're asking 130, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and then you said that the bathrooms are leaking, and the bank had give you there's a forbearance, so you have till the end of February to sell. Is that correct?
Yes, if
Or
I can, I would like to. But febrero the 28, January the 28, I leave into my country because my mother passed away last year, and it's gonna be 1 year. We're gonna go and we are Catholic.
Oh, okay.
So we go to pray for her over there in my country.
Yeah.
So I'll be back February the 25. My Lord was I have a WhatsApp, but I don't know if you. I guess WhatsApp is for people in Spanish, not for everybody.
Yeah.
But you can contact me by WhatsApp.
Okay, I'll do that. What I was gonna
Leave a
propose.
message because I'm gonna have a phone, but to answer sometimes I'm not get the connection good to answer a phone. So
Yeah.
So if you send a message and everything, so January, February the 25th, I will be here.
Okay, and do you mind me asking what country are you going to? Where are you from?
El Salvador,
Okay.
Central America.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that'll be nice to get back with family.
Yeah, it's nice if we don't go in the dark and if we go places daytime, there's no danger because over there, still the president wants to put everything, all the Salvatruchas on jail, but it's too hard. It's too many people.
Yeah, this is what I wanted to propose and suggest. Would you feel more comfortable having a conversation with somebody in Spanish?
I understand you. Money in English and Spanish is the same.
Yeah. Well, the reason I ask is because I do have a partner that's bilingual and speaks Spanish. I just think that it may be a little bit easier to work out a deal if she reached out. Would you be okay with that?
All right. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, text me the name because I will ask. Sometimes I don't ask. I don't answer. Before,
Right.
maybe you called before this morning. I can answer. My telephone were off, and I went to setting, and I find out I don't know too much about electronics. So
Right. Okay.
I went to setting and said, "Why is the telephone don't ring?" So then, and then I find out we're off. So I'm sorry if you called before.
No. Yeah. No problem. No problem. I
You
understand.
can send somebody. Somebody can call me in Spanish.
Okay.
And also somebody told me that if I sell the house by me with a realtor, I will get more money. but I gotta get there and fix the property with somebody.
Yeah, well, that's kind of the benefit in working with us. We're willing to buy it as is, so you don't have to go in there and make any repairs. We'll buy it as it sits. So what I'll do is I'll pass along your information to my partner. I'll make sure to text you her name and number before she reaches out, so you know who to expect, and so that you can answer the call when she calls. And I'd love to, yeah, just
Yeah.
put you guys in contact so that we can see if we may be a good fit to buy that place. It sounds like something that we're interested in, and I hope that we'd be able to help you out before, the end of February once that forbearance is up.
Ah, okay, okay, okay. And if you guys buy the house, I would like to you send me the paper to somebody that I will, because
Of
it's my
course.
first time I'm gonna sell it, and I talking about sell by phone, and I don't know how the danger is or
Right.
sale.
Of
So
course.
I gotta get somebody that when you can send the paper and he can come over, or you gonna select how do you call it? Notario, how do you call
Right,
it?
right.
Notice,
Yeah,
notice.
of course. Yeah, we would want you to do that regardless. We can send it to you, and you can have anybody look at it. We do a lot of business in Houston, so however you prefer. We can send out a notary. We can send you the paperwork electronically. You can have somebody look at it. We can meet with you in person. However you want to do it. But first,
All right,
I want.
okay, okay.
All right, so yeah, like I said, first I want to make sure that we're going to be a good fit before we start talking about the details. So I'll have her reach out. You can expect her call, probably at the beginning of next year, just because the holidays are approaching. So I'll be sure to
Yes,
pass
yes,
along the
yes, yes,
information.
yes, yes. Uh-huh. And I have time. I'm not in rush
Right, of
because
course, of course.
when we close the selling, you have to pay the month I'm behind because it's not free. It's just to hold
Right, right. Do you
the
know how much?
property, the forbearance.
Do you know how much that is right
Because
now?
I am my English is short, but I understand more than
Sure,
about about the um mortgage.
sure, sure. Do you have an idea of
Yeah.
how much would have to be paid off?
Oh, no. I own 66 before 67. 66 something.
Okay.
What we're gonna pay is like a normal. Whatever I did not pay, it's normal.
Right, right. Yeah, definitely.
When we pay, when I don't have no late charges, my credit is not gonna lose. Everything I talk to the bank.
Perfect.
No, it's just normal because they own the mortgage,
Yeah.
the same mortgage, so they're gonna tell you how much I owe
Right.
when you apply for the you gonna pay.
Right.
It's the same. You're gonna end in the same 66
Okay.
500 or 600. You're
Gotcha.
gonna pay the same. Only the way I say is look like I'm behind. No,
Right.
you're gonna pay the price. I don't know if they charge a little bit more because we closing the mortgage. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. We'll figure out the details later on the road. Well, I appreciate you
All
speaking
right.
with me, Maria. And if I don't speak with you before you head back to El Salvador, I hope you have a fun and safe trip, and you're able to reconnect with your family. So, and I hope you have a happy
Okay,
holidays as
you
well.
too.
All right.
You too. Have a Merry Christmas.
Same to you. Same to you. We'll talk soon. Okay.
All right.
All right. Bye
Bye.
now. So yeah, she was pretty difficult to understand. I was able to pull some good information out of her though. Her tenants stopped paying rent. They sounded like poor tenants. They moved in and claimed to be these handymen, and then never repaired anything, and then never let her into the property to repair anything. So it sounds like there are leaks. I don't know what she was really referring to, if it was the roof or like the plumbing. She kept referring to the leaks being in the bathroom, so I'm led to believe that it's possibly the plumbing. um Her mother passed away last year, so she's heading back to El Salvador, and will be back on the 25th of February. The bank has given her forbearance, so she has till the end of February. It sounds like to catch up on payments. Uh, And this is not, again, this is not the property that I'm calling her on, or that I intended to call her on. And when I actually look this property up in PropStream, it says that she owns like 4 other properties. So that'll happen in PropStream, just to kind of put that out there. Um, I was looking at one property uh, on PropStream, and it said that she owned only one other property in Arizona. And then I called her, and she was like, "Oh no, I'm not going to sell that property. I'm going to sell this property." And she gave me a new address. And then when I pulled that address up, I can see that she owns a property in California, a property in another property in Arizona, um, uh, and then 2 properties in in uh, in Texas. So, anyways, she said that she's not in a rush, but then she was telling me she was telling me she's not in a rush because she didn't want to seem desperate, but with the details that she was providing me, she is in a rush. Um, there's a deadline to this forbearance, and she has to catch up on payments. So she would like to sell it, and I just wanted to try to connect Jared's girl. I'm gonna send this off to Jared for his girl to reach out. This seems like a perfect one. She's very willing to work with me. Uh, I just feel like it's gonna help establish a little bit stronger of a relationship if somebody can reach out to her in Spanish. Not to say that I couldn't have brought this all the way to the closing table myself, but it'll make it a little bit easier. I just think, like like she said, I understand you, and it's like I didn't want to say, well, I can't really understand you. Um, and even then, she's like, if you heard that, she was like, how do you say it in English? Like, it's I understand it, and she's right. She was saying, I understand it. I can speak it pretty well, and she's right. But if there's an opportunity for us to just connect her with somebody and speak to her in her native tongue, then why not? Why wouldn't we do that? Why wouldn't we allow the process to be smoother and just a lot more crystal clear? But so I'm gonna pass that one along. Um, she owes. This is also something weird in PropStream. It says that she took out I'll see this pop up every once in a while too. Um, so it says that the estimated value in PropStream is 172. I was trying to run some quick comps. It looks like she may be able to get 180 all fixed up. She's asking 130, so we're gonna have to be much less than that, especially because she mentioned that there are repairs. I didn't want to make her an offer right off the gate, but we would probably have to be somewhere around, let's just say average repairs would probably be like a little under 100 max, if like that those leaks are the only thing that's wrong with it. But we're definitely going to be under 130. That's what she wants. But in PropStream, it says that the mortgage balance outstanding is 657,000. So it says the equity that she has in the property is negative 485,000. I think what happens, I don't know if this is the case, but something about like the fact that she owns multiple properties, that she's taking title to different properties under different names. Like I said, when I looked her up under one property, it didn't even have these other properties. And then when I looked up this other property, I saw that she has a number of other properties. So something's going on. And I think it just throws off the system here. Um, so I don't want to, assume that it's not a deal because I'm getting information off of, prop stream here. But yeah, she seemed really, really open, send off a notary. I want to send it to somebody, that's kind of a little learning lesson. Don't tell her no. You know what I mean? If anybody ever says, all right, I just want to send this off to my lawyer, say, by all means, send it off to your lawyer. I would, that's how I would want to do it. Send it off to whoever. I want you to feel comfortable moving forward. Don't say, well, why would you want to do that? Is there anything that I haven't answered? Or, it just comes across as a snake. It's like, don't tell them not to send it to somebody. In all likelihood, they're just bluffing to see how you respond. I've mentioned that before on the channel. Like, if they're going to say that, in all likelihood, they're actually not going to send it to the lawyer. They just want to see how you're going to react to them saying, okay, yeah, let me just send this to my lawyer. And then if you say, don't do that, and then they're like, oh, okay, so you're trying to scam me. You're trying to get over on me, and when in all reality, if you said, please do send it off, I want you to feel comfortable moving forward. Whoever you need to send it to make you feel the most comfortable, by all means. And then they think to themselves, all right, like this guy's legit. I wasn't actually gonna send it to my lawyer. Uh, but even if they do, my second deal that I closed, he consulted a his buddy who was a retired real estate attorney, and uh, he was in fact a retired real estate attorney because I did a little research and I was able to confirm that. And he definitely stuck his nose in it and made the deal a lot more difficult than it had to be, but it made the seller feel more comfortable. So by all means, go ahead and do that. He tried to intervene and like make things again more difficult. Like, oh, my client, as if he was representing him, which he wasn't because he was retired. He needs this and this and that, and we were like, okay, well, we're not gonna do that. Does he want to sell it or not? And then at the end of the day, he still wanted to sell it. So you know, don't don't like give up a bunch of stuff just because they ask for it, but don't shy away from having somebody else check it out, you know. And then if they say, "Oh, okay, well, that's not how we're gonna do it," we'd much rather do this, and say, "Okay, I get it. This is why. Have a reason as to why you want things done a certain way. Don't just say, I need a 14-day inspection, because I just need it. I need it. In your head, you're thinking, because I need buyers to walk the property. Say, hey, I got to protect my investment. I'm not going to buy something without getting the pros out there to double check everything. I need my T's crossed and my I's dotted. I'm not going to buy something and not do my due diligence. I need to protect my investment. And then somebody's going to hear that and think to themselves, okay, that makes sense. I wouldn't want to pay a good chunk of change for something without doing my due diligence too. So have a reason as to why you want specific things, but don't uh don't just give in to everything that an attorney is going to ask or whatever. So I'm going to take note of this conversation, swap out the address here. You guys got to promise that you're not going to steal this because I didn't get a chance to mute the phone, so the address is publicly available. But that was a good one. Again, I'm going to toss this over to Jared so this girl can reach out in Spanish. Where'd you go, Johnny? I'm finishing up here in a little bit. I'll take them out. What time's your client? 3:30? All right. Say, spoke with seller. Provided me a different address. Appears to be out of state absentee owner per prop stream. Had to evict tenants from property as they stopped paying rent. A few months ago, judge gave the seller forbearance. I don't know if that's how you would say that, but until end of February. Seller continued mentioning that she's not in a rush because of the forbearance. However, she mentioned that she is going out of the country to spend time with her family to celebrate the 1 year she mentioned that they pray 1 year death anniversary of her mother. She mentioned
that she is Catholic, and that's it. Um, she said that you may be able to get a hold of her through WhatsApp. If you guys aren't familiar with WhatsApp, it's a Facebook owned app that allows for um, international communication. When me and my girl went out to Mexico, Cancun, that's how like we were talking with the like housekeeping and stuff. It's just like the preferred. I've always used it because my buddy had an Android in high school, and everybody had an iPhone, and he was never being able to be included in the group conversations. So we had downloaded WhatsApp. So I am familiar with that. She said that you may be able to get a hold of her through WhatsApp. Um, did I mention El Salvador? No, it's one other country too. El Salvador. Wow, jeez. Hey. Um, she will be returning to the States on February 25th. Um, the old tenants never allowed the seller in to do any repairs. So when they left the place with some damage. She specifically referenced, quote, leaking in the two bathrooms, to say, in parentheses, unsure if she was referring to the roof or the plumbing. Asking 130K and owes roughly 67K in outstanding mortgage balance. And I'm gonna put in parentheses, I'm not too sure, but I think she may have been under the impression that she was going to do the repairs herself for 130K. So, boom, save this. I'm going to send this off to Jared right now. DM him on Instagram. Got another Spanish speaking lead. Well, she speaks English pretty decently. She speaks English, but it was a bit difficult to understand her. So I figured I'd send this your way. It's your way
to allow for a more smooth, um, comfortable process for her. Sending it your way through email now. Um, Spanish speaking lead. Yeah, Chavez. What's up here? Another Spanish speaking lead that I deemed you about. Below are the details. That's what I typed out here. Name Maria Chavez, address, phone, um, I'm just going to give it a quick read to make sure that I'm not talking nonsense in this text or this email here. Appears to be out-of-state absentee owner per prop stream. Had to evict tenants from property as they stopped paying rent a few months ago. Judge gave the seller a forbearance till the end of February. Seller continued mentioning that she's not in a rush because of the forbearance. However, she mentioned that she's going out of the country, El Salvador, to spend time with her family to celebrate / pray um, for the 1 year death anniversary of her mother. She mentioned that she is Catholic and that's what they do. She said that you may be able to get a hold of her through WhatsApp while she's away. She'll be returning to the States on February 25th, 2022. The old tenants never allowed the seller in to do any repairs, so they left the place with some damage. She specifically referenced leaking in the 2 bathrooms. Unsure if she was referring to the roof or the plumbing. Also, not very sure if the damage goes beyond this. Wasn't able to dig deeper on the general condition, roof, AC, kitchen, etc. Asking 130 and owes roughly 67K and outstanding mortgage balance. I'm not too sure, but I think she may have been under the impression that she was going to do the repairs herself before selling for 130K. So she may definitely be willing to come down off that based on come down off that if we're able to communicate the benefit. So comps that I'm just gonna say thinking ARV is roughly 180K. So for a 20K assignment for us to split, we should be at an MAO offer of around um, anywhere from like 85 to 110 max.
All right. All right, this next one, 1,300 square feet. She was asking 100,000. What? Yeah, 113. Sorry, 1,300 square feet. She's asking 100,000. I just want to see if I ran. Yeah, so I ran comps. MAO of like 112 less repairs is where I would be. So just depending on her level of rehab, that would be anywhere from 62 to 97 if it was just cosmetic. So 100 may not be too far fetched. I think I don't know how much I carved out for. I didn't actually copy and paste the comp, so I don't know how much I carved out for an assignment. So I may even be able to give her the 100. I mean, I for sure would be able to give her the 100, even if I carved out a minimum of 10 at least. So as long as if it's cosmetic, I could give her the 100. If not, I wouldn't be able to go that high. Stop sending stupid messages. If I decide to sell my property, I'll I'll have a better options. Okay. Um, so I have texted this woman. She said, call my realtor. I said, okay, I can do that. Is it listed? She said, look on HAR. I said, I see an appraisal value of 81. Is that what you're looking to get? She said 100. And then I said, all right, can we get on the phone real quick to chat? Didn't reply. 5 days later, can we talk? No reply. 7 days later, hey, you still there? No reply. 7 days later, 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 no reply. Called her, no response. Called her here.
Hello, and thank you for calling. We're sorry that we'll buy one more property before the end of the year here.
That was a voicemail that I left. 2 weeks later, I said, hope everything's okay. We talked last month about your property. If you're still interested in selling, please reach out. So I'm going to give her a call. I don't think I've ever actually talked to her on the phone. Um, 1 second.
Let me recall right now. If that phone wants to work. I think she may have even just given me that number thinking that it was like far fetched. I feel like a lot of times sellers will do that through text. I'm finding they'll give 100,000, like because I said again, I was like I saw the appraised value on HAR, which is where she referred me, was for 81. Is that what you're expecting? And then she was like 100,000, which is like $20,000 over what I had just offered. And I think in her head she was thinking that that was extremely unreasonable. But in all honesty, as long as the repairs are cosmetic, I can do that. But if it needs a little bit more work than that, I'd probably be around 85. Again, you get where I'm coming from. Let me give her a call. Never actually called her off this number, so I think she.
Hello.
Hi, is this Mr. Williams?
Yeah.
Hey, how's it going? This is Derek. Not sure if you recall, we actually were going back and forth through text a couple months ago about your property over on Murr Way.
Yeah. I already
Oh, okay, okay. Well, while I have you, would you happen to have any others you might consider selling at the moment?
No, sir.
No, okay. All right. Well, I appreciate you taking the call and have happy holidays. All right. Bye now. I highly doubt that he sold it. That was just his passive way to dismiss me off the phone. If I had to guess, let me go check PropStream to see if you know or what. And I was always under the impression that I was speaking to a female. Maybe that's his name, Dana. I don't know. So he's still on title. Has owned it for 16 years. Um, if I had to guess, he hasn't sold it. You know, it's just his way again of saying, stop calling me about it. It's no longer for sale, or I've already sold it. So I'll push it out like 3 months. Just to round back. Leave myself a note. Spoke with Mr. Williams, and he mentioned that he already sold it. Although Derek thinks this was a passive way to dismiss plans to follow up in 3 months. Give myself a task. I'm going to say back, double check PropStream to see if a change in ownership has in fact happened. If not, reach back out to seller to see if there is any interest in selling. Follow up with them like at the end of March. May sound a little like counterintuitive. Like, why would you follow up with them if he just told you he sold it? Because again, I just checked PropStream. It doesn't look like a change in ownership had happened. I am under the impression that he just doesn't want to talk about it because again, I've already followed up with him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8
times through text and two times through phone call with no response. So I just think he doesn't want to deal with it. Doesn't mean that it's his situation or circumstances won't change in the future. So I will follow up with him in a few months. Armando here said that yes, we can talk about possibly, him selling that property. I said, how soon were you looking to sell? He said, within the next 3 months. I said, are you free to hop on a quick call? He said, no, I'm at work right now. And I said, okay, when's the best time for me to reach out? So I'm going to follow up and say through text, hey, Armando, I'd love to get you an offer on your place. When's the best time for me to give you a call to learn a bit about it? I'm going to send that off and I'm going to double text him, giving him an out saying, or if you'd like to just text, that's fine with me too. I would just need to learn a bit about the current condition of the house. What can you tell me about it? Does the place need any major or minor repairs? Any response from seller? If not, follow up in 2 weeks. He said he wants to sell it in the next 3 months. So I'm going to say, be aware of seller's timeline and start increasing frequency of follow-ups if he isn't responding. Stefan, yo, let's get it. Just getting off work. Time to go home and talk to motivated sellers. That's what I'm talking about. My guy just got paid $13,500 and he still has his eyes on the prize. Or he's getting paid 13.5. I can't quite remember. Robert here. He says, don't know if we spoke before. Didn't see your name. That would be a first. And we're preparing to sell that property in a couple months. I said, okay, great. My name's Derek. Are you free at all tomorrow to hop on a quick call so I can learn a bit about the property? He said, to be straight up, Derek, we are investors and we'll be selling to the highest bidder once we get a fix on a starting price. We're at least a month to 2 months from that point. Renters are in process of moving out. If you're still interested in getting in the loop, let me know. I said, understandable. Yes, I definitely want to be in the know. Do you plan to list it or sell it as is once the tenant is fully out? Will not be listing it. So I have a note for task for myself to say, what's their asking price? I'm gonna say, hey Robert, just wanted to round back about your place on Did you guys have an asking price yet? Did you guys come up with an asking price yet?
This is probably not one that's gonna like really mean anything, and I appreciated his honesty. Like, hey, look, this is what's gonna happen. I don't have a problem. He doesn't have a problem that I can solve. He just has um, property that he wants to sell. So there's no reason for him to sell at a discount, especially if he's just going to take the highest bidder. Um, and me being a wholesaler coming into the situation with him being an investor, I would likely want to just pass this along and kind of reverse wholesale it, bring the buyer to him if it makes sense, the numbers. But it's not something that I'm going to try to like play games with him, like and act like a buyer when I'm really a wholesaler. Just it's not really appropriate or ethical. Not to say that the industry of wholesaling isn't isn't ethical, but I just don't want to jerk him around or waste his time. Wholesale. No, I think actually, Stefan, you were the one who said this the other day. Like, you don't want to just be a bird dog. You don't want to just be finding these opportunities and then passing them along to buyers for like quick check, $500, $1,000, whatever your buyer's willing to, kick back. But at the same time, like, I'm not going to not do that because that's just going to be same the reason as like you don't want to not refer retail leads to a realtor because that is just kind of like extra income that can be generated. Yeah, it's not a perfect opportunity for you, but it is going to be a good opportunity for somebody else if the numbers make sense. So it's not wise to build your whole business model around just reverse wholesaling or just being a bird dog. Um, but you also don't want to just shy away from those opportunities because of the small kickback that you're going to get. It's not a waste of time. I'm just going to send a quick text. I'm down to have a quick conversation with this person and even let him know, hey, I have buyers that are very serious. Let me introduce you. Let's see who else. Okay. Marilyn, if you're familiar with this woman. Now I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. I didn't want to reach back out to her for another couple of days. Morris. So this gentleman, actually, I'm sure you guys are familiar. This is the guy who owns like 30 properties. He had given me a different address than the one that I reached out to him about. This is not in Houston. It's out in Austin. And I had learned that the reason he wanted to sell this one is that he has a number of rentals in Houston and he has a very reliable maintenance man, handyman out there now that does all of the repairs on his Houston rentals. And he doesn't have that type of a resource out in Austin. So this place has kind of fallen into disrepair and it's kind of just been neglected. And he just wants to offload it and, kind of reinvest into the Houston market. But he wants his cake and he wants to eat it too. He wants high earnest money because what happened is another buyer came through and ended up backing out. So he's very hesitant to move forward now. So he wants high earnest money. He wants me to waive my inspection period. He wants he just wants a number of things, and I'm trying to he wants to wait until after we close before he wants to give his tenant a 30-day notice. So just like so many things, right? He's an older gentleman, and I knew that he knows that that's unrealistic. And I was trying my very best to communicate that to him when I talked to him on Thursdays. I think last time I talked to him. But he was like, okay, well, I went in there and I took pictures. He doesn't want me to inspect. He doesn't want me to do walkthroughs because he doesn't want to raise suspicion with the tenants. But like at the end of the day, they're gonna have to get out anyways, right? Like, what's it matter to them? It shouldn't matter to them. He just wants to do right by his tenants, and I understand, but he's allowing his emotions to get involved, and that's going to prevent him from being able to sell this property. And I am trying my very best to communicate that to him. But anyways, he had sent me a bunch of pictures because he was like, well, if I send you the pictures, are you down to just like take a look and buy it sight unseen? Or Last time I just walked the property with the guy, and he was like, "Yeah, we'll buy it," and waived his inspection period, which is, I guess, reasonable for a real cash buyer who is using their own funds to close on the property. But even a real cash buyer that's raising capital through hard money or whatever, um, they're still going to want to do their due diligence. It's just the name of the game. Again, I need to protect my investment. I can't just willy nilly agree to these $100,000 figures. He's asking 200,000, and it's a really good spread if everything checks out. But I'm not a foundation expert. I'm not an electrician. I'm not a plumber. I need the pros to come in there and cross the T's for me. And if I'm just going to waive my inspection period, that wouldn't make any sense, especially if you're asking for high earnest money. So you guys can see, he sent me pictures. The place looks like it's a really good condition. I thought it was going to be much worse. Definitely needs to be updated, but not in like horrible condition by any means. So this is something else. I want to continue having this conversation with him. I don't know. I might just refer this over to my partnership program again through my coaching program, so that they can reach out and hopefully be able to more effectively communicate that to him. Like, this is like not going to happen if you're not going to give a little bit. It's like, I tried to say, like, you need to give a little bit and take a little bit. I'm down to give a little bit. I'm down to put up high earnest money. I'm down to, um, maybe shorten my inspection period, but I can't just like give up everything. I can't waive my inspection period, give you high earnest money, wait until we close for you to evict the tenants. What I said to him was, that doesn't really make much sense to me, because after we close on the property, technically they would be my tenants. And he was like, well, yeah. It's like, and I said, like, I don't put it past you that you still want to be involved. It's very clear that you want to do right by your tenants, but like, I don't have any I don't have any insurance policy in that. Who's to say that I give you your money and you don't just take the money and run and then leave the burden of evicting the tenants onto me, right? So he's wanting all these insurance policies. He's wanting high earnest money, no inspection, the tenant to be 100% taken care of, and then he's not willing to give anything. So I don't know. I let him know that I would reach. Yo, what's up, Frank? So he sent me these pictures, which does help. It does give me a little bit better understanding, although there's no exterior pictures that he sent me, so I'm still not quite sure of the what type of repairs we would need on the exterior. No shots of the roof, or the siding. I'm pretty sure he actually said the siding would need to be replaced. He said the AC unit was newer, but there's no pictures of the AC unit. And he said these pictures were taken 2 weeks ago, but I would also just have to like take his word for that. For all I know, these pictures are like 3 years old. Um, he's not motivated. Yeah, I agree, Stefan. He's not. He's not. Again, he owns 30 properties, and this one is cash flowing. He has tenants in there that are paying rent on time, in full, every month. It's just, if he were to offload any of his properties, he would want to sell this one. And seems like a great guy. He's an older gentleman, but yeah, he's not motivated. You're very right. So again, like I said, on all these people, he doesn't have a problem that I can solve for him. It's just, but I do want to mention, he's asking a very reasonable price because of all this. He knows that he's asking for the world, you know, but he's not. He's not just fishing, Stefan. He already went under contract with another buyer, and the buyer backed out. That's why he's extra hesitant right now, because he felt like his time was wasted, which it was. So he's not just fishing, but he's definitely not motivated. Um, but yeah, exactly, Stefan. He's not motivated. That's just the best way to say it. He doesn't have a problem that I can solve for him, so he's not like wanting to move quickly. He's not wanting to like. He's not willing to give anything in the negotiations. He just wants to take.
waive your inspection period, give me high earnest money. But it's really attractive to me again because he's asking such a reasonable price. He's asking 200,000 in comps in the area. I've calculated ARV based on comps in the area. After repair value on this place is like 400. Conservatively, like 385, 390. Based on these pictures, I don't think repairs would cost any more than like 30 to 40. So there's a huge spread on this, which is why I'm so overly involved and like overly excited about it. But not something that I'm really wanting to waste my time on. So I think I'm going to refer it over to my my coaching program, my partnership program, and just have them reach out, like I just kind of said to my other seller. So I want to text him right now and say, hey, you know, I forgot to even text him and say that I received the pictures. So I'm going to text him saying, I don't even remember his name, Morris. Hey, Morris, just wanted to reach out. Just wanted to confirm that I did receive these pictures. I appreciate you sending these over. I'm going to look them over this week with my partner, and she may be the one reaching back out to you to discuss. In all likelihood, you can expect her call after the holidays. Send that, double text him saying, does that sound like a plan? See what he says. Come in here, leave a note saying, texted seller confirming receipt of the pics and let him know that Eric's partner will be the one reaching back out to discuss details. Mention that it would be post holidays. I want to rerun the numbers on this just to be sure. I will do that tomorrow, and then I'm going to say if I say refer to charge program, if numbers check out, provide all details to that's her name, but do that tomorrow. Again, good guy. It's going to be a long play. Just find a cash buyer first. I don't say, okay, Stefan, you're like reading my mind, man. I've gone through and I spun my wheels on all this stuff. I don't want to find a cash buyer first because one, I'm not familiar with the area. Again, this is in Austin. I work the Houston market. So this is the first opportunity that I'm actually pursuing outside of the Houston market, only because the spread is so big, which is, again, why I don't want to bring in a cash buyer first, just in fear of them cutting me out. My coach is a cash buyer, though, and I'm very confident that he wouldn't cut me out. So that's kind of what I'm doing, Stefan. I'm kind of bringing the opportunity to my coach, my mentor, and saying, hey, here's the opportunity, like huge spread on this if you want to, but he's asking for this, that, and this. And so to see if he's kind of open, but I don't want to bring in a cash buyer. I don't want to reverse wholesale it because the spread is just too attractive. I'm looking at like a $50,000+ sign. So like if it went for 400, which I do think it would, assuming that buyer's gonna want like 40K at least minimums profit on this, and again, I really don't foresee, depending on the exterior and like if the roof needs to be replaced, all that good stuff. Let's just say at most 50,000 repairs.
I'm looking at like a $78,000 spread. So, gonna slow play this one though. There's no rush. He's not motivated like you mentioned, Stefan. So, uh, just kind of gonna slow play that one. Jared, email me back. Got it. We'll get it right after we get home. Appreciate it. Appreciate you, Jared, if you end up watching this. For those who just hopped in, Jared is a subscriber here, and his girl is bilingual, Spanish speaking. So I've been kicking all of my Spanish speaking leads over to them, and trying to make something shake on those. I just spoke with a woman. She spoke English, but uh, you know, she spoke English well. I don't want to like knock her for not speaking English. It's clear that Spanish is her native tongue, and she mentioned, I'm fine with speaking in English. And then I let her know, I understand that, but I just, I think it would make it for a much smooth process. I have somebody that can reach out to you in Spanish, so I might as well. And she's like, oh, okay. So that's that. She had to evict her tenants. They stopped paying rent and left the place with a bit of damage. So she's looking to sell. Um, and I'm hoping that we can come to an agreement before she goes out to El Salvador, because she's not going to be back until the end of February. So that's everybody that I wanted to. Oh, maybe that's everybody that I wanted to follow up with through my texting platform. I'm not going to do my follow-ups on my dialer right now, but I am going to just double check to see like how many past due I've let it go, because it's been a while since I followed up with my dialer leads. So I have 23 follow-ups here. More like 20, 22-ish. God, I'm going to hit those tomorrow. I'm going to clear my dialer follow-ups tomorrow. What do you think? Should I hop on the dialer real quick for like 10, 15 minutes? Let's see what's shaking on the driving for dollars list. If Stefan's talking to motivated sellers, so am I. Never know who's motivated today. Saying. Holidays approaching, they're thinking, damn, I wish I would have sold. Maybe somebody can get me paid within the next 3 days. It's possible. If they're motivated enough.
Well, I'm not liking the start. It might not be dialing off of many.
Hello?
Hi there. Hey, I'm sorry. I'm not sure if I have the right number here. Hopefully, you could help me out. I was looking for the owner of a property on East 31st Half Street.
You must have a wrong number.
Oh, I'm so sorry about that.
Okay.
I don't know how to say that address. East 31st and 1 Half Street. So weird. And I phrased it that way because it's in a trust. So I don't have a name to go off of. Hello?
Hello?
Hey there. Sorry, I'm not sure if I have the right number. I was hoping you could help me out. I was looking for the owner of a property on North Loop.
Yeah.
Yeah, my name is
How can I help you?
yeah, my name is Derek. Just wanted to reach out real quick. I wanted to see if you'd ever consider an offer on your property there. You ever considered
Yeah, I
selling?
am considering an offer on that property, as a matter of fact.
Okay, okay. Did you have a number in mind that you'd be hoping to get for it?
I'm looking for 250 on it.
250. Okay. All
It's a
right.
commercial property, very strategic location for any type of office, any type of business entity.
Okay.
Um, and that's for a quick sale, with cash offer.
Sure, sure. Okay, this is what I'd like to do. Me and my partner, we are looking to pick something up fairly soon here. We are looking to pay cash as well. So, what I'd like to do is take this address and discuss it with him. And if it seems like we can come upwards to that 250, is it all right if I give you a call at this same number?
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
And what was your name?
My name is Claudio.
Okay.
And what is your name?
My name is Derek.
Derek. Have we spoken before, Derek? Because
We
I know I've had a lot of people call me on that.
we have not. This is actually the first time we've spoken.
Okay. Yeah, I've held on to that property because I wanted to develop myself, but as it turned out, my situation's changed, and I'm looking at moving out of the state. So it would be an ideal property for any type of lawyer, any type of even like hotshot business, any type of really any property is located in the center of the Houston geographical area,
Sure.
basically.
Sure.
It between Houston, Galveston, Katy, the Woodlands, any of the any of the major cities in this area basically are going to be equidistant to that location.
Right.
So um, for a commercial project, it is an ideal location. There's huge development in that area.
Right.
And you've got basically you got a million people that go by there every day,
Right.
in
Right.
essence. So for the right type of buyer, it is a property that you can hold on to, and it'll continue. Just sitting on it, it'll continue to gain in value.
Right.
But it can be developed very easily. It's got several buildings on the property. Two of them are easily restorable and put into use with the right type of situation is what I'm trying to say.
Right. Right. Okay. Perfect. Yeah,
So
we'll definitely take a look.
it's an ideal property for anybody that's looking for a long-term investment and and an excellent commercial location.
Right. All right. Perfect. Like I said, we'll definitely take a look. I appreciate you taking the call here and letting me know the information on it. And again,
Okay, Derek,
if
no
we are
problem.
able to come upwards of 250, I'll be sure to give you a call. And again, appreciate you taking the call and hope you have a happy holidays.
You got it, my friend. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye now. Based on the estimate right out of the gate, his estimate's 148. He's asking 250, but I do know like he's talking about the development in the area. I've seen actually now that he mentioned it, this is a driving for dollars lead. I think this is actually one that I literally added last night. But in the area, lots themselves are going upwards of 300,000 because of the townhomes that are getting put up and being sold for a million plus. So it may actually be a play. I was really turned off right when he said it, just cross-referencing the Zestimate, but I will take note of it. Commercial property looking to sell. Claudio is his name. Development in the area. He said there's a couple of buildings on the property already. Central location. Derek mentioned would discuss with his partner and reach out if numbers made sense. Set myself a follow up or calendar events. Run comps, determine MAO. I'll do that tonight when I get home. Wow, see? Yeah, what was that? I was like was that the first answer? Oh, I didn't even realize. I didn't realize that these people had texted me back. Make sure So the gentleman, Jimmy, who has the 6 single families that he's looking to offload. Jared, what up? What you up to? I'm on my way home from Costco. I just finished my follow-ups from my texting platform. I was just doing a little bit of cold calling, talked to the first person that answered. He's looking to sell his commercial property. I'll take a look at it, run the numbers a little bit later. But I have a couple people that texted me back that I didn't realize. So the first person, real quick, the guy who had sent me the pictures, the one we were just talking about that Stefan said he's not motivated, he had just texted me a thumbs up emoji. I had said, hey, thanks for sending me the pictures. I'm going to discuss this with my partner. She's going to be the one who's going to reach out to you. So I'm just going to refer it over to my partnership program. And then Jimmy is the gentleman who has the 6 single families that he's looking to offload. Cash offer didn't make sense for him, understandably so, because he owns all of the properties free and clear. All of the places are in not the best condition, but they're by no means in poor condition. They are rent ready, middle of the road condition. So a cash offer didn't really make sense for him because he is not motivated, Stefan. This guy is definitely not motivated. All 6 of his properties cash flow. All of them are occupied. He said that he's a little bit, annoyed with a couple of the tenants, but a lot of the tenants are really good tenants. But I made him a cash offer a while when we spoke last. I gave him an offer in the range of 550 to 575 for the 6 properties, and he's like, "Oh, no, that's not going to happen." And I was like, "Yeah, I get it, And then he proposed, "Well, I may be open to seller financing." And I was like, "Okay, why don't we do this? Because we're just kind of spitballing at this point now. Why don't we take a few days? You come up with your bottom dollar for a cash offer. Not to say that you're not completely turned off to a cash offer, because if the numbers make sense, obviously you take it, right? But come up with your bottom dollar for a cash offer and kind of what you would be expecting in regards to terms on seller financing, and then we can revisit it." So I just texted him a little bit ago saying, "Hey, Jimmy, wanted to round back to see if you've given any more thought to selling your single family portfolio. I know last time we talked, you weren't necessarily interested in a cash offer, but you mentioned you may be open to seller financing. If you were to sell all of them for cash, what do you think your bottom dollar would be for all of them? or if seller financing was the route you'd want to take. Did you have any expectations regarding the terms? Don't know if you recall, but I personally only have enough cash on hand to take down 1 to 2 of these properties. So I spoke with a partner of mine that would actually be interested in coming in on the deal with me. If it's still something you're interested in, I'd love to put you guys in contact to continue the conversation. Let me know your thoughts. Happy holidays. I need to net 700,000. He said he owns all the properties free and clear, so he's essentially saying 700,000 for all of them, which would be may even be decent for a cash offer. My max was okay. So my max was 572 for a $90,000 assignment fee for the portfolio in its entirety. I was also fairly conservative with the amount of repairs that it needed. He wasn't able to like dissect every single one of his properties and say this property needs this, this, and that in repairs, and this one needs this, this, and that. What he was able to tell me was all of the properties do have central AC. All of the properties' roofs have been replaced within the last 10 years. 2 of the properties did have foundation damage, but they have since been repaired, and all of the properties are pretty much middle of the road. So you could go in there and put it, spend a little chunk of change to bring them all the way up to speed if you wanted to resell them. So 700 may actually be a play. It wouldn't net me a crazy assignment. But how I ran the math with that information was any property under 1,500 square feet, I assumed that I allocated 35,000 for renovation costs. Anything over 1,500 square feet, I allocated 50,000, and I accounted for a $15,000 assignment fee on each property. So even if I were to knock the repairs down like 10,000 on each, that would allow me to come up 60,000, put me at like, what is that? 28, 60 minus 28. What is that? 32. That would bring me up to 632, with still a $90,000 assignment fee. So, so I still could be looking at like something over $20,000 assignment fee if those numbers make sense. But that's for an all cash offer. And then he said, I would consider seller financing with a down payment of 50,000, and I carry 650 at 8% interest. It's a little high. Interest only payments for 36 months and a 36-month term. 36-month term. What? So he's looking for a balloon at 3 years is what I'm gathering. 36-month term. I think he maybe made 360-month term, which would be a 30-year amortization. So I'm going to reply, and that's actually pretty reasonable. And the fact that he is expecting the same purchase price for a cash sale as he'd be willing to agree to the purchase price, the principal on seller financing with him carrying the loan, is actually very reasonable. Typically, a cash offer, you'd be able to offer much less than if he were to carry the loan and seller finance it. I think 700,000 is very reasonable for the lot. I think that honestly, as is right now, a lot of them are around like 135,000 in its as is condition, current market value. So I think asking 700,000 is fairly reasonable. I just want to clarify real quick. Okay, just to clarify, and then he's asking 50,000 down on the 6. So he's only looking for 83.33 on each property as a down payment, where that's pretty much what I know. This is like I'm not even too familiar with seller financing, so this is like all new to me. But essentially, I would try to be collecting my assignment fee in the discrepancy of the down payment on what he's expecting, or the difference of the down payment based on what he's expecting. versus what my cash buyer is willing to put down. So he's expecting 8,300 down on each property as a down payment. If my cash buyer is willing to put $15,000 down on each property, then that's where my assignment fee would come from. So that's pretty good deal. I think he's pretty reasonable here. I'm gonna say, okay, just to clarify, down payment 50,000, carry 650 at 8% interest only payments for 36 months and a 36-month term. Okay, just to clarify, did you mean a 360-month term? That's all. I'm just gonna leave it at that. See how he responds. Which would put the payments at what? On a 360, I can pull up amortization calculator. Because the only thing that matters here is if it will cash flow. So that's why seller financing is so attractive to buyers, because they can get in these properties with $8,300. That's all it would take to buy one of these properties. And as long as the payments to him are less than what the tenant is paying in rent, then it's cash flowing from day one, right? So let's see, mortgage amount. What did he say? 650. It's what we would essentially be borrowing from him, and he would be using his equity in the property to provide that loan. Mortgage term in years, 30. Interest rate per year, 8% is high though. It doesn't quite make sense. When the banks are offering like 2 to 3%, you might as well just go get a conventional loan if you can qualify, if that makes sense. Like there's no incentive for me as the buyer or my cash buyer as the buyer to agree to something as high as 8% when the banks are offering far less. So calculate. So it looks like monthly payments in its entirety would be somewhere around 4,800. So 800, yeah, it doesn't make sense. 800 per property. So it would have to rent for something higher than that, far higher than that. Once you start taking into consideration all the other things that you got to set money aside for, it doesn't quite make sense. Let's just calculate it at 3% to see what it would look like. That would drop. It would cut the payments in half. Monthly payments would be $2,740. But something that I'm not familiar with, what he just mentioned, is interest only payments for 36 months. What's up, Unlimited Compilations? I think I've seen you as a subscriber. I think this is the first time you've hopped in here live, so welcome. I appreciate you jumping in here. Do me a favor, if anybody's in here right now, go ahead and hit me with a like before you leave. If you enjoy the content, I'm not going to force a like on you. He said no, 3 years, 3-year term. So he's looking for a balloon payment at 3 years, is what it sounds like. So he's wanting to get cashed out at the end of 3 years. Yeah, he's asking for the world on this. So if it's not amortized over 30 years, then that's silly. Right? What did he say? 30. We here. Let's get it. 36-month term and 8%. That's silly. I'm just gonna say, okay, I'm going to bring this to my partner. We'll discuss and reach out with our thoughts.
it will likely be after the holiday season. So if I don't speak with you before then, have a happy holidays. Because he's saying a bunch of stuff here where it's like, hey, it's not really making sense. Not making sense to agree to, and not making sense to me because I'm uneducated. He's saying that he wants it amortized over 3 years, which is just silly. Now, if he wants a balloon payment at year 3 and amortized over 30 years, that's one thing. But if he wants it amortized over 3 years, that's not gonna happen. Understood, and likewise. So cool guy, but it would make sense if the interest rate was far lower, like half of what he's asking. And the balloon payment maybe at year 5 or 7 and amortize over 30 years. But based on what he's telling me, he wants to amortize over 3 years. So it's essentially the same as a cash offer. We're just getting down a little bit lower out of pocket up front. It just doesn't make much sense, to be quite honest. But I'm going to, like I said, refer this over to my partnership program and see if it makes sense for him. I'll do that tomorrow. Send it over. He knows he's asking a lot, which is cool because this is the start of the negotiations, but I just wonder how far he's willing to bend. Appreciate all you guys tapping in here, especially it being the holiday season and stuff. Really appreciate that. Hop back on the dialer real quick, see if I can maybe talk with 1 or 2 more people before I got a jet. Let me know what you guys are planning for the holidays. You got anything special planned? Let me know if you plan on marketing this week or next week before New Year's Eve. I want to feel it out, get a pulse on what everybody else is doing. Hello?
Hello?
Hi, is this Mr. Inklin?
Yeah.
Hey, how's it going? This is Derek. Sorry, I know this is a bit random, but I was calling about a property I believe you own on Shoulder Drive.
Yeah, it's actually not for sale, and the foreclosure's already been canceled.
Oh, okay. Congratulations.
Yeah.
While I have you, would you happen to have any others you might consider selling at the moment?
No, that's the only one I have.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you taking the call. Have a happy holidays.
No problem. You too. Thank you.
Bye now. See, you heard he was under the assumption that I knew that he was getting foreclosed on, because I'm sure he's getting all types of other calls because he's getting foreclosed on, but sounds like they were able to restructure it or whatever to be able to resolve that. So that's good news. You don't want poor things to happen to these people, but
For the people that it is happening to, you want to be there for them to help. Get on the dialer and call. That's what I'm saying. Run the numbers up. That's your holiday plans. I love it. So cold. I think I'm dialing off of 4 lines right now on Call Tools, just to kind of put it into perspective. So it's, and I've called through a number of these people as well, and it's the holiday season, a couple days before Christmas. I'd imagine that a lot of people aren't going to answer the phone, but yeah, 4 lines I'm dialing off of right now. Hello?
Yes, can I help you?
Hi, is this Mr. Rodriguez?
No, you got a wrong number.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, that's good.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hey, it's Jose.
No.
Hey, how's it going? This is Derek. Sorry, I know this is a bit random, but I was calling about a property I believe you own on Chase Street.
No, not speaking English.
Oh, okay. Was there any interest in possibly selling that property there?
No,
No, okay.
no for sale.
Gotcha. All right. Thanks for taking the call. I will always still just ask. If you heard, he said, I don't speak English, but I still asked, and then he understood and told me that it's not for sale. So I'm always still going to push the script. I went a little off script right there, but just to kind of be a little bit more direct about it, because he clearly wasn't a native English speaker, but I still got a response for what I was looking to get out of it. All I'm ever looking to do is confirm that it's the right person and get a yes or no. Are you looking to sell your property? And I mention it all the time on this channel, but Spanish speakers, with my experience, I think sometimes use it as an excuse. Like, oh, I don't speak English, but then I'll still ask, and then they'll tell me, hello?
Hello?
Hi, Maria.
For somebody who hangs up when I ask for the name, I'm going to mark them as wrong number. But yeah, to finish that thought, I will still ask if somebody tries to dismiss me and kind of shoo me off the phone by saying that they don't speak English. I'll still continue through the script and ask if they have any interest. And more often than not, they'll say, no, I'm not interested in selling. So that's my method. Do with it what you will, but that's what I do. What do you think? Should I increase the number of lines here? I don't know. I mentioned that last live session too when I was dialing. It's like you'll just hit a little bit of a dry spell sometimes, and then out of nowhere it'll be like back to back. So, hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me? Hey, Harold.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going? This is Derek. Sorry,
You doing well?
hey, this is Derek. Sorry, I know this is a bit random, but I was calling about a property I believe you own on Tolliver Street. Um, I marked those as not interested. Contact made. If they only hang up once I mention the property. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hi, is this Miss Montoya?
Master calling?
Hi, this is Derek. Sorry, I know this is a bit random, but I was calling about a property I believe you own on Charles Road.
Oh, no. We're not selling.
Oh, okay, completely understand. With the quick hang up, all good. See, like I said, now it's back to back, like crazy. Montoya stumbled on that a little bit. Got a reply through text saying $300,000 only. I'd imagine that is a high asking price, but let me see what the estimate is. His estimate on that is 129. But again, this is in an area where lots are going for about 300,000. So you gotta kind of take this estimate with a grain of salt because a lot of new development in the area. I should just get, you know what I should do in this area is just run some comps and determine what is a good price for lot value so that I kind of just approach everybody with the same figure. Because it's that type of area where it's crazy gentrification. If it's not a brand new townhome, it's a really, really old, rundown single family. So that's who I'm marketing to are the single families that have held out and clearly not sold. And I'd imagine that they're constantly being marketed to. Um,
by big developers, by people like me, by everybody. So, like you could tell, he had a fixed price, no nonsense. I'm only going to sell for 300,000. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Sorry, I'm not sure if I have the right number here. Hopefully, you could help me out. I was looking for the owner of a property on Parker Road.
Nope.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry about that. I couldn't pronounce their name, which is why I approached it like that. Where do you get your list from? Right now, I'm calling my Driving for Dollars list. I build it out virtually. I do have a little mini series on my channel if you want to check it out on how I virtually drive for dollars. Um, I've pulled a lot of lists from PropStream. My two deals that I've done, the first one was my virtual Driving for Dollars list. My second one was just an absentee owner list that I pulled off of PropStream. I have since started purchasing lists and find that it's really quality, to be quite honest. Um, and I get those from GeoPoint data. The gem right there. Don't go sharing that with everybody. The list I'm calling right now, though, is Driving for Dollars. These are just simply houses that I've identified on Google Maps that look to be in physical distress. Hello?
Hello?
Hi, is this
Hello?
hi there. Is this Miss Torcios?
Hello?
Hi there. Is this Mr. Torcios?
I am.
Hi, my name is Derek. Sorry, I know this is a bit random, but I was calling about a property I believe you own on North Loop.
That's not for sale.
Oh, okay, completely understand.
Uh-huh.
While I have you, would you happen to have any others you might consider selling at the moment?
No.
No, okay. I appreciate you taking the call.
No.
You're welcome. I was always hesitant to buy lists before having to pay for skip tracing, but I gave it a try because GeoPoint was giving out a Black Friday discount. I think is the first time I bought it from GeoPoint, and started getting really good responses through text and cold calling. So I think I'm gonna stick to that. But once I like hire some cold callers and stuff, there's definitely benefits in just pulling these lists from PropStream and stuff. But uh, I'd imagine that you're just gonna have to do it in much higher volume because everybody's pulling those lists off PropStream. If there's a barrier to entry, if there's a paywall, meaning you have to pay for the list, a lot less people are gonna do that. So that means a lot fewer people reaching out to these people. The lists are gonna be a lot less beat up. Um, and you'll still be able to find people with motivation in it. So you're welcome. You're welcome. Just got another reply through text from one of the follow-ups that I sent off. Hello? Hi, is this Mr. Cantu?
Yes, it is.
Hey, how's it going? This is Derek. Sorry, I know this is a bit random, but I was calling about a property I believe you own on Silvercrest Street.
Right?
Yeah, I just wanted to give you a quick call and wanted to see if you'd ever consider an offer on your property there. You ever considered selling?
I can't because even though I live there, I don't own that property.
Okay. Okay. Uh, uh, I'm a little confused with that. Are you renting it from somebody?
No, just my mother lives there, and I live with her. So
Gotcha. Okay. Completely understand. While I have you, would you possibly happen to have any others you might consider selling at the moment?
no, that's the only property that I'm aware of.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate you taking the call anyways.
All right, thanks so much, sir.
All right. Have a good one. I didn't know how to respond to that. I was spinning my wheels like, what could possibly be the explanation to that? um, I think I've even spoken with this woman before. The name just seemed so familiar, and so did the address. Just kind of replying to some of these texts that are coming back in from the follow-up text that I sent off a little bit ago. Um, nothing too crazy. Nothing really even worth sharing. Hello?
Hello? Yeah.
Hey, is Michael?
Yes. What you
Hey,
need?
hey, how's it going? This is Derek. Sorry, I know this is a bit random, but I was calling about a property I believe you own on Della Street.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to reach out real quick and wanted to see if you'd ever consider an offer on your property there. You ever considered selling?
How much you want to buy it?
Well, let me tell you, my partner and myself, we do have some cash on hand. We're looking to buy one more property, within the next 30 to 60 days. Obviously, I've never been on the inside of the property, so I would just need to learn a little bit about the condition. Did you have a few moments to discuss?
Okay, just tell me up. I'm working now.
Oh, okay. When's a better time for me to give you a call?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Okay. Is the morning or the evening work better?
Yeah, before, after 7
Tom-
a.m.
Tomorrow after 7 a.m. Okay, I'll give you a call. How's around noon work? And he hung up. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna call him, but I don't know if he's very motivated. Create a note. Asked Derek how much. Derek said he needed to learn about condition. Seller asked for a call back tomorrow after 7 a.m. as he was at work. I was definitely not going to call him at 7 a.m. because that's 5 a.m. my time.
I tried to push them out till noon, which is like 10 a.m. my time. I'm gonna follow up, requalify. Oh. And that's, how you got to respond to those type people. I mean, everybody has a different way to respond to how much is your offer. Um, but you gotta transition it to be able to start pre-qualifying them somehow, because in all likelihood, well, not in all likelihood, but a good chunk of those people aren't really actually interested. Um, they just want to hear you throw out a number for them to say, "Oh no, that's way too low." You know, last call with the guy living with his mom. I honestly would not know how to respond to that. Yeah, he was like, what did he even say? He was like, "I'd like to sell. I live here," or he was like, "I live here, but I wouldn't be able to sell." I was like, what did I say? I was like, I'm a bit confused with that. What the hell does that mean? That one was trippy. I'm telling you, in my brain, I had 1,000 different responses to that, but I like couldn't put my finger on any specific one. I was just like, what? Appreciate you guys again. Hate to sound like a broken record, but if you haven't already, do me a favor, hit that like, subscribe, notification bell. Upping my goal to 75 subscribers before the end of the year. We have far surpassed our goal of 50 before the end of the year. Before I hopped on this morning, I think it was at 56. So do me a favor and share this with somebody who you think may benefit from it as well. It's great. I'm loving having you guys hop in here. Little community starting to be built. It's not even little anymore, especially with the people coming in here doing deals. So damn it, just had a seller cancel the contract as I was on the phone with the buyer. Oh no. I mean, why did they cancel? Can you kind of strong arm them into hello? Can you strong arm them into remaining under contract? Because technically you have a legal they have an obligation if they signed off on this, as long as the contract is all kosher and good to go. How can I join the community? You're a part of the community. I'm just referring to you guys hopping in here during the live sessions. But that's funny you mentioned that. I have considered possibly creating like a Discord group or something like that so that we can stay in contact with each other even when I'm not live streaming. Drop a comment. Let me know if that's something that you guys would be interested in. If so, I can look into getting that set up. But yeah, Don, I'm going to hop off the dialer here. I'm getting ready to. Don Juan, so why Don Juan? I would like to know why the seller is wanting to cancel. If it's just a matter of them changing their mind, you could. It depends on what you're gonna. Okay, I'm gonna preface all of this with. He said something came up to where he can keep it and fix it himself. Do I really want to go to war with this nice fellow? Well, he could be lying to you, but that's what I was getting ready to preface it with. Do you really want to do that? Depends on how much spread. What were you expecting? What was the buyer offering? If you had it under contract for 50 and the buyer's offering you 100, I probably would at least throw out like a I don't want to call it a threat, but like a little bit of a feeler, like to the seller saying, hey, uh, we have this legal contractual agreement here. I've already ran the title search. Everything's good to go. I'm upholding my end of the
the agreement here and I'm fulfilling my obligations in the contract, I was fully expecting that you would do the same. I hate to do this, but again, we have this contractual agreement here. Um, and technically, I don't know how you want to phrase it, but it sounds like you're familiar with, um, you know, the process to the point where you can say something just to see how he feels. Yeah, hey, Don Juan, it's probably about the money. It's 99% about the money. He probably talked to somebody, started to get a little bit of remorse because somebody's telling him, "Oh, you could get way more. You can, what if you just spent 10, 15,000 dollars on repairs, you'd probably be able to get $20,000 more." So approach the conversation. I would not throw a threat out first. Um, just feel it out. But I would probably bet big money that it's about the money and not about the fact that he thinks that something came up and it's about the money. So if you have the room, I was only going to make 3 to 4K on this one. So me personally, I don't see it being worth a strong arm tactic, but I do have another one under contract for a 27,000 spread. Yeah. Yeah. There you go. That's what I'm talking about, Don Juan. I would say throw a feeler out, uh, see what type of see if you can push the margins a little bit by bringing on your buyer or having them increase their price a little bit. And it may be worth just having a conversation with the seller saying, hey, I understand where you're coming from. It sounds to me like you're getting a little regretful because you feel like you can make more money on it. Is that the case? You're saying that you want to do the repairs and fix it yourself so that I'd imagine so that you can get paid more money on the back end. The numbers are really tight for me as is. Um, but if it is about the money, I can see maybe if I can come up another, $1,000, $1,500. But to be honest, that's the best that I can do. But if I could get approval for coming up, another $1,000, is that something that you'd be good to go on? I mean, we've made it this far. I've already run the title search. I've done this, and I'm getting ready to pay you your money by the closing date that we've established. I would just feel it out. I know you're saying you only can have 3, 4, but it may be worth it giving him another 1, 2, maybe even $3,000 just to get paid on this one because you've already done all the work. At this point, there's really nothing left to be done but get paid. So it may be worth going upwards of, offering him a couple $1,000s more just to secure the deal and finalize it. But congratulations on the 27K spread. That's awesome. Everybody, make sure you drop a comment in here congratulating Don Juan. That's amazing. 27K spread. You guys are killing it, man. You guys are going crazy. But so Steven, I got a reply from Steven through text saying $300,000 only. I said, okay, I'll round back with my partner on this one, see if we're able to come up on that price. I'll be sure to reach out if we're able to. If I don't speak with you in the next few days, have a happy holidays. And he said, great, thumbs up emoji. This is another one in that area that is all of the new development. So I may actually be able to come up to 300,000, to be quite honest. It's like one of those areas, again, crazy gentrification. So the people who have held out and hasn't sold yet, they know what their property's worth. So I think 300,000 is probably top dollar, but he cut the cord. Oh, he's not even replying to you anymore. Is that what you mean? If that's the case, then I would just send some texts and send some voicemails. And then if that is the case, I would throw out a little. If he's not even gonna talk to you and he's gonna ghost you, then I would throw out a little bit of a threat feeler. Hey, we had this set up. I've done this, and now you're backing out last minute. We have this legal contractual agreement here. I still have every intention on buying the property, whether or not you're participating in the process or not. So don't just think I'm gonna go away because you've stopped talking to me. I would, again, feel it out. I would slow play it. I wouldn't go straight for the kill. But if that's the case, then that's just that's pretty bogus. I'm all for sellers saying that, but actually saying that, like coming to me and telling me that, and giving me enough respect to explain their way out of it, but don't just back out and then ghost me, right? But I bet Don Juan, I bet you it's about the money. Um, hey, haven't heard back from you. We're still set to close on this date. What's going on? Is this about the money? You won't hurt my feelings. Just be honest with me. If it's about the money, then we can talk about it. But I need to know one way or another. And I have every intention on continuing the process and closing on this property. We have this agreement in place. But to each his own, Don Juan. I don't want to tell you what to do. Like you're saying, if you want to, allocate your time, energy, and resources into that other deal that you have going, by all means. Um, but I personally, I had that happen to me on one of my deals, one of my contracts that fell through. He said, "Hey, we don't want to sell anymore," and I was like, and I hadn't done my first deal at this point, and I was like, "May I ask why?" And he's like, "We changed our mind. We don't want to sell." And I was like, all right, whatever, man. And I just sent him the cancellation and he signed off on it because I was in the same position you were in, Don Juan. I just wasn't even wanting to deal with it. I was like, on to the next one. But I'm sure if I would have offered him more money, he would have taken it. I'm sure if I did strong arm him a little bit, he would have been a little bit more uh, willing to continue the conversation as opposed to just cut me off and say, we changed our mind. We don't want to sell. I'm not selling it to you. It's like, okay. But I hear what you're saying, Don Juan. I've been in that position and I've done exactly what you're saying. I mentioned that one in particular, I ended up locking it up too high. Come to find out he was getting a great deal, probably why it took a while to find a buyer. But as soon as I found one, snip, snip. Damn, even though he was getting a good deal, huh? All right. Well, I wish you the best of luck on that, Don Juan. The old unlimited compilations, I appreciate you hopping in here. Like I said, I think this is the first time I've seen you, so I appreciate you hopping in here and congratulating Don Juan especially. Just want to scroll up, pay homage to everybody. I will always love dogs. Appreciate you always showing the support. Jared, as always, let me know on those Spanish-speaking leads. Let me know how those turn out. Stefan's expecting a $13,500 spread on a deal that's set to close fairly soon here, I believe. So make sure that everybody drops a congratulations for Stefan as well. Jim Shorts Joe, I think, gosh, the chat got cut off. I think he may have said that he got a contract or something like it at the beginning of the live stream here. So all you guys are killing it. Frank, appreciate you hopping in here, showing the love. Appreciate the congratulations. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Let me know what you guys are feeling. I want to get some sort of celebratory. I don't want to be cliche and get like a bell or something. I want to do something a little different, but um, think about what you guys would like to see. I want to get some type of congratulations, appreciation, so that I can celebrate you guys and your wins as well. So drop a comment. Let me know what your thoughts are on that, and let me know again if you guys would be interested in me setting up like a Discord or some type of a group, so that we can continue communicating when I'm off live stream. Let me know if you'd be interested in that. But I'm going to hit it. Appreciate all you guys. Love all you guys. Congratulations to everybody who's coming in here with the wins. It seems like all of my subscribers are going crazy and winning before the end of the year. So love to see it. Appreciate everybody who dropped a like. If you haven't already, do me a favor, hit the like button before you leave. And if you're interested in continuing tapping into the feed here, into the live streams, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button as well. Setting a new goal for myself, 75 subscribers before the end of the year. And I'm pretty confident that we'll be able to do that with the amount of support you guys are showing. So appreciate all you guys. Like my man Colin says, let's go get this money. Yeah. He had like DM me on Instagram or something like that, or somebody from his team. I don't know. But super, super odd DM. I just kind of ignored it. But appreciate you guys again. Hope you guys have a good holiday season. I will be on here tomorrow, probably up until the 23rd. I'm going to continue marketing. So see you guys tomorrow for sure. Appreciate you guys. And until the next one.